everyone, welcome to Babies with Knives. Today we're going to be doing another Maximum Apocalypse session with Scott Uhls above me. Hey Scott!
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing very well. And today we're doing it while your Kickstarter is running, correct?
That is correct. We are currently still in Kickstarter, and we are currently doing a bunch of crazy stuff to get those last couple of stretch goals locked in.
Fantastic. So. I'll make sure to leave a link down below. As always, I'm Alice Peng, aka Lala Twiddle, and today I am going to be playing a pre-generated character named Robin. She is a young little mechanic, and so I'm picturing that she's a bit on the frail side, a little bit scrawny. I was picturing auburn hair, probably tied back in pigtails like my current pigtails, looking at auburn hair, some freckles on her face, and I carry my tool belt around just about everywhere I go and have an oversized wrench ready to strike at the bad guy. The wrench meets face on the zombies. So up in the upper right-hand corner on the next column is Brandon Powers.
Howdy, everybody. I am going to be playing a young kid that made it through the food riots that was his apocalypse. I'm named Shinobu, and I have eaten enough that they could have feasted upon my largesse and done okay, but I am big, and I've figured that might makes right in this world.
And below Brandon Powers is Andreas Johan.
Hi, I'm playing Peyton, and he's a surgeon, and beyond that, he's beyond the command of the knife. He have also a good command of the people with a steady voice and decent skills as a hunter and gatherer. Otherwise, he wouldn't have survived as long as he had. Yeah.
Well, then, Scott, which way?
Sure. Well, thanks for coming out to play some more Maximum Apocalypse CRPG. It's a game that I made, been working on for the last couple of years, and we're almost done with the Kickstarter to get it out there in the world. It is a post-apocalyptic D100 gaming system that takes place after the fall of humanity. And for those that haven't been following along, it's legitimately the Maximum Apocalypse. All of the apocalypses that you could imagine happening have happened. So aliens have invaded, nuclear bombs went off and created weird mutants. The robots decided they became sentient, turned on us. Z-virus broke out and zombies are everywhere. The world cracked in half. Giant kaiju have smashed the planet. Oh yeah, and we ran out of food and gas. So
it's a little bit ahead of where we are right now.
Yeah, it's next Tuesday. That's where it's at.
Wait, where are the murder hornets?
So that's the bugs, and
right.
that's one of the Kickstarter stretch goals that's kind of off in the wind right now, because we're almost out. We have 24 or 28 hours or 38 hours, something like that left in this campaign. I don't remember. It's a very small number. But in that time, we're basically probably only going to unlock one more adventure, one more scenario to put in the Game Master Guide. But floating outside of that is the possibility, if in the last 24 hours we crush through that and we just start throwing a bunch of money in, we're going to show some more stretch goals that we were planning. One of them includes bugs. So murder hornets are on there. And Alice, if you actually look in that folder I showed of some art, there is actually a murder hornet in the art.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
so
people will see that as the slideshow continues to roll.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. So yeah, next Tuesday is when this takes place. And so big 2020 calendar on the wall in every place.
We're just getting our practice in, so we know how to survive.
Yeah, everyone's just getting a little bit of a little training in. As is apparently the case, role-playing games are training scenarios, and that's the thing apparently. But anyway, so this is the game. This one is called Duchess of the Mississippi, and it takes place actually quite a bit long after the world. So it's not next Tuesday; it's actually Tuesday in 2 years from now. But close enough. Close enough. I'm trying to find one last monster, and I will be good to go. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Okay. So this is called Duchess of the Mississippi, and you guys are all survivors that have been surviving together for a little while, and you're on a boat. Insert lowly islands. So you guys are on a boat, and you've been surviving together since the fall of humanity. Maybe not necessarily the whole time, because you all had your own individual apocalypses that you survived in, unless they're the same, which I don't think any of these pre-generators are the same. Then you survived something, whether it be like alien invasions or kaiju or, timey-wimey business. You have come to this point where you are together with other people and you're on a boat. And you are currently traveling through the Mississippi Sea. which you have been doing for approximately a month now, to avoiding killer robot drones, large sea creatures, and alien scouts. While the waterways have been providing some food for you, lately they haven't been. Kind of eaten the fishes. So everyone in this particular adventure, you're all going to start off with 2 days of hunger damage. Let me double check your characters real fast.
I'm very hungry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that Shinobu is like what, 4? Let me double check your size there, Shinobu.
Yeah, he needs double the food the rest.
Let's see,
He's the
that
big
would
one.
be 100. So 1, 2, yeah, like yep. I think it may even be 5 food units. Hold on,
Oh dear.
quick reference snapshot. Zoom in a little bit. 150. No, just 4 food units. So double what everyone else. So you guys, so the rest of you, so the 2 of you will suffer 4 food damage. The 2 of you, that would Andreas, Alice, and then yes, Shinobu is gonna have what, 8 hunger damage.
And is that just you take off your health points, or
No. So the hunger damage, the bottom right of your character sheet, the bottom right corner of your character sheet, there's a little hunger tracker thing. You just put the number in there. It'll be like 4, 8, whatever. Bottom right. And what you're probably fine, because I doubt that it reaches any of your sort of your fortitude divided by 4. So 1/4 of your fortitude. This character sheet, by the way, this may still be the incorrect one. We found a couple of tiny little flaws, just like some numbers in slightly the wrong places. So it might say 1/2 and then 1/4. It's actually supposed to say 1/2. Because you count up when it comes to halves and when it comes to fractions. Yeah. So anyway,
how much was it?
So 8 for you.
I got lots to go before my fortitude, though.
Basically, everyone can go about 4 days without eating before it starts to get to where their fortitude is, roughly.
Not in my case. I get 1 more day before I'm screwed.
Okay, 3 days. See, 3. I said roughly 4 days. It's 3 days in your case. Yeah.
Why was that? Or what was the difference? I have like 40 in fortitude.
Yeah.
You have a 14 fortitude full, or you have
40.
Yeah, 40.
14.
Yeah,
okay,
so
you have 10.
So yeah. So the way that it works in this game is everything's a D100 percentile roll. So everything's going to be a D100 roll. So your stats are all based off of that, right? And in the case of your fortitude, so there are degrees of success. When you roll below your number, that's a success. Below 1/2 is a 2 degrees of success. Below 1/4 is 3 degrees, and then a 001 is 4 degrees. In this case, if you go all the way up to the 1/4 number, which 40 would be 10, right? Then at the 10 mark, you start to starve, right? And you start starving.
Okay, right.
And then at the half mark, so 20, then you start to become emaciated, and 40, you die. So don't get there is the moral of the story, because you don't want to die. But the way you offset that is to eat, and maybe you're lucky enough to have food. Because some of you have food, I think.
I have 4. Yes, I have 4 food. I didn't know if I was allowed to actually use.
So no, you're not allowed to use it. The characters, these regenerated characters were for a big batch of adventures, not specifically for this one. Yeah.
Yep.
So no, you don't have any food. Pretend you have no food on your character sheet.
I don't know. My comic book is looking pretty good right now.
Tasty pulp.
I've got cigarettes. Can I use those to just curb the appetite?
You can actually use those for all kinds of stuff. You can smoke them, give you some resolve benefits, but you could also use them as timers or use them to burn other things. But basically you suffer some hunger damage, and on the middle of the, I guess, 3rd day, it's the 2nd day, 3rd day without food. It's been a while since I've run this adventure, so there's some things that I need to correct. But in the middle of the 3rd day without food, the outcome is starting to look bleak. Your lines are coming up empty. Your nets are coming up empty. You're running out of food.
Aye, mates. We need to find some grub soon, or I'm gonna have to eat one of those bugs we found. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with eating bugs. They'll go in your tummy, same as everything else.
Yeah, they just kind of smaller than those gators, and I haven't seen those in a while either. So.
Yeah, well, sure, there ain't nothing wrong with eating them gators either.
Yeah, you guys have probably eaten a gator or 2 along the way. Sure.
When they glow in the dark, them's the one you want to avoid unless you're real hungry, like right now. My stomach growls.
Yeah, but I mean, we already ate those because they were so easy to spot, so,
Yeah.
That's true. Tasted okay coming down, but going out other end, it won't serve good.
Looking around your group, you think that it might be a good idea to make landfall on the eastern landmass, because you might find some survivors or an area that hasn't been scavenged. But you're not sure, because before you can give this much thought, you hear a buzzing sound nearby, and your captain, Grace Lee, shouts that there is something off the starboard side of
Try and figure out which the heck side that is again, and then go there.
Lee,
Uh,
that way,
Yep.
that way.
Lee points into the starboard side of the boat, which I believe is the right side of the boat.
I think you're correct, but
Okay,
you know,
Good. Right now, my wife's uncle is going. He also helped on this. Longtime shipbuilder guy gave me some ideas for this adventure. Yeah, so there's something moving off the starboard side of the boat over there. Anyone want to go check it out?
yep. Like I said, once I
Yep.
figure out which side it was
Absolutely.
again, I was on my way.
All right, all of you will make a perception roll. It would be rolling a d100 and trying to get below your instinct. If you are proficient in perception, great, you just roll the d100. If you are not proficient, as in you don't have a P, you have a dash, then you're going to roll disadvantage. So you roll an extra tens die and choose the higher number.
Is it perception?
Yes,
Yeah,
perception.
perception.
And so
I
how
think-
disadvantage works, Andreas, is that
Yeah.
you'll take when you roll the extra tens digit, you'll take only you'll take the lower of the tens digit, and ones digit will stay. So you end up rolling 3 dice instead. When you roll
it'll be the
advantage, the higher, yeah, because when you roll advantage, you want the lower. When you roll disadvantage,
Yeah.
sorry, reverse that. I'm used to the other version.
yeah.
So-
This is a roll as low as possible game.
Yes, roll as
Yeah.
low as possible. So you'll end up.
So I rolled 16 anyway, so I think I'm skilled, so at perception.
Yeah, I think I was just thinking that all three of these characters are actually proficient, so it's not even a big deal right now. Yeah, so 16 is 3 degrees of success for you, Andreas.
Huh.
Yeah, because you have to get under a 75 is your number, so like in 18 or something.
Oh, yeah.
Really great. Yeah.
And a great way to tell is on your stats, you'll see normal number, your max number, then you'll see a half number and a quarter number. And basically, if you hit that quarter number or lower, that's 3 degrees of.
Yeah, that's good for them.
I rolled well above mine, so I'm lagging behind a little bit and just looking if there's anything that I could put in my mouth to ease this terrible aching I got.
Me, I'm suddenly feeling some seasickness, and despite the fact that my tummy is extremely empty and hungry, that bile wants to come up, that seasickness is not working. So I definitely missed my mark in spotting it.
I have actually been there before, traveling between 2 islands in Korea, so I totally know how you feel right now.
Yeah, you don't
I got
need
a
to
minor
have food
case
to
of
feel
it.
that way.
Yeah, I got a minor case when we were traveling out to Orkney in Scotland, and coming back I was fine on it, but going out, it did not agree with me one bit.
It's the other way for me. Going out to the cool island, fine. Coming back, whoa, no. But anyway, so the only one that sees anything is Andreas. Peyton, the character Peyton. The character Peyton sees this displacement of water. There's like this round tube thing like in the ocean coming towards you relatively quickly. That's what you see.
One ripple.
Yeah,
Not several
but a
small
big
ripples.
ripple. Kind of looks like a metallic tube thing is flowing in the water towards you, relatively large.
Peyton, what is it? Oh
Metallic
my gosh,
tube,
I
2
think it
o'clock
sucks.
coming our way.
2 o'clock.
If-
Mhm.
I end up looking at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, if you wanna roll an academic skill roll for me because you saw it, go ahead and make that roll. Probably that too.
Let's see what's. Oh,
Mark.
I rolled 16 again.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is so what you see, this metal tube thing, you can tell by the water displacement, by the size of the thing, and the metal of it. This is most likely, like 99%, a drone, a robot, a sentient robot on its way to attack your boat.
Robot incoming.
I will at that point stop looking around for anything that I can eat, but believe me, I've probably tried a few of the inedible things, and I will move the way that they're calling out about that, grabbing out my, let's say, katana.
I'm pulling out my drone command unit and starting to try and program the hacking. Remember, I could use the parts. Don't just go breaking it again, Shinobu.
Peyton loads his crossbow and shakes his head. Oh, too bad we can't gonna eat this.
I might be able to use it
okay.
to find something we can eat, so don't break it so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. The captain of your ship, Grace Lee, she shuts off the engine when she hears you say that it's a robot, because she's hoping that the drifty boat is going to be harder to find than hummy rotor moving boat. So she turns off the engine and then leaves it over to you guys. So you guys prepped yourselves. What do you want to do to take care of this problem?
Is it everything I've got seems to be mainly melee type, so
Yeah.
I'm heading over there to look at and be ready in case it does come up on us.
In case it comes up on the boat.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Robin, tell again what's that sciencey thing you thought about doing? I still don't quite get the hang of it. What was the point?
I can take control of it. Text primitive, easy to hack. Just give me a minute.
Okay, so do we need to buy you time or distract it?
Distract it.
Okay.
Oh man.
And if it makes the click 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 sound again, just blow it up then.
Okay.
15, 10, 5. Okay. So you're waiting for it to get there, and then you're going to try to hack it when it gets into mid-range, because that's the range of the drone
Yes.
command unit. Got it. And then otherwise, we've got 2 people ready to try to take care of it. One with a crossbow, and one with a bunch of melee weapons.
Yeah, and depending on how it looks, I try and judge whether the slashy squishy or the smashy squishy would be better.
Got it.
What about
Got
the
it.
pokey squishy?
I am not really equipped with a pokey squishy, so maybe we'll make me something.
I'm not sure what a pokey squishy is, so I won't make comments on that. But it gets within range of your drone command unit, so you can go ahead and make a tech use skill roll. It's firewall, that is. Wait, have we done? You probably haven't been around since we made the hack.
She's probably one of the reasons you guys said, "Oh, we need some hacking rules."
I think that last time I played with you said that I was the cause of the need for the hacking rules. So no, I don't know what the hacking rules are, as I am the cause of them.
I feel like that is an accurate assessment of the hacky rules and when they came about. Okay, so let's talk about some drone hacking. You can hack a drone. This is a thing that is possible now. What you're going to do is it's going to be an opposed roll between you and I with your tech use skill roll and my creature's firewall. So the way that it works is for every hit, for every double check for hit is the degrees of success. Yeah, okay. So you're gonna roll your degrees of success. I'm gonna roll my firewall. You get hits for each degree of success. I get hits for each degree of success. My hits negate your hits, and then you need 4 hits to control the drone. Keep zooming in on people. All right, so go ahead and roll your tech use for this round of combat, because we're gonna start this combat. And I'm going to try to see what happens from my end.
I start off pretty good. I started off with a 20.
Okay. How many degrees of success is that for your tech use skill roll?
I'm double checking. That is 2 degrees of success.
Okay, well, I failed, so you get 2 hits. Now, you need 4 hits to control the drone, so you're halfway to controlling the drone.
And you guys see, as I'm like playing with this thing, you guys see me almost like phase out and phase back in. I look suddenly like 20 years older, then I go back to my current age, and then I look like I shorten a couple inches, like I'm de-aged a couple, and then I go back to what you guys see me at.
All that timey-wimey business. Yeah, this probably happens a lot actually with her. This is probably something you've seen before. Okay, the drone is within mid-range, so going down the thing, Shinobu, it is not within any reach of any of your weapons right now, but you now have a sight of this thing. It is a metal, cigar-shaped looking thing moving through the water.
Okay.
Like a torpedo, almost.
At the moment, I'm just going to basically be in a defensive posture in case, all of a sudden the laser beams start firing out of it.
Fair.
Or her attempt to hack it makes it explode, then I can duck for cover, like it did last time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Peyton is crouching beside the edge of the boat, or what?
Yep. And do you, Peyton? Do you want to take a shot with your arrow? Or just wait for it to come up and see if it surfaces or gets super close to the boat, so you can try to hit it.
I'll take a shot when Robin shouts something about things going south.
Okay.
We don't want to damage it too much.
So, as you guys know, the initiative is a static number. Now I'm going to -5 from everyone's initiative. The robot is going to go, and it's going to try to shoot at the boat. It's going to be really hard for it to miss because it's close range. 22 or 22, I guess that's a success. Yeah. The boat will take some evasive maneuvers. I'm not just going to leave you guys. Drifts. And it gets a 22 as well. What is up with my dice? Anyway. There's some plinkety plink. You guys hear some damage in the boat. Not very much. It's minimal damage. Just some tink tink as the boat gets hit with some bullet fire from the drone. And now goes to Robin.
I'm gonna again. Ooh, that time was a 12. That is 3
okay.
degrees of success.
Well, so I failed again. Oh no, I got a success this time. I got a success. So minus one of
That's still
one
4
of
successes total,
yep.
though.
I was gonna say minus one of yours. It's still 4 successes. The drone, for the 2 of you. So this is how this ends the combat because the drone is now under your control and it's in range. So the drone rolls up. It comes up to your boat and just kind of slowly stops and is drifting along beside your boat, waiting for a command.
Got it. Told ya. Primitive tech. Primitive.
All right. Are we gonna use the nets, haul it in, or are you gonna float it next to the boat?
Well, I think I want to see, look around on this thing first. So I'm going to actually, does it have a camera? Does it have a hard drive of what it has seen underwater and such? Because my first concern is, has it seen food lately?
That is a good question, and a valid question. So you can go ahead and take it apart, and try to access that stuff. It does have like things like that in it. It has a camera and it has like a hard drive. It also has like a radio signal system.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So you
So-
will have to make a mechanics skill roll to take it apart and get access to all of that stuff.
Okay. It sounds like, toss a net in. I can't get remote access. Gotta get inside it.
All right.
Thanks for holding off this time. See, I told you last time it didn't blow up because of me. It blew up because you went squishy smashy or punchy smashy or.
But when I hold those bullets, I remember we need to keep the boat in one piece more than any drone because things.
I also remember
you remember
screaming and save me being called out, but now there's complaint.
Remember where we have the net? I think that my character don't have a net.
I mean,
I think I assume we have one.
yeah, there's probably one
boat.
on the boat. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I
we'll-
believe it's already said our nets have come up empty.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
do
Yeah,
have
yeah.
nets. Look, I
Yeah.
caught something.
Yeah, you guys cast the net over. You can pull the drone in. The thing you know about the drone is that it's going to want to like break free. So there will always be like waiting in the background. The robot sentient virus will constantly be waiting in the background until you let it get too far away from you, and then it'll go like and try to reactivate the drone.
Like your mother-in-law.
That's why I'm taking it apart.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's why I'm
so taking it apart is what you want to do.
Yep. I got 1 degree of success. I got a 69, 1 point below 70.
Okay. So yeah, so there you go. So you go ahead and you open it up. You can get access to all of its bits and parts. When you go to go make one more roll for me, and I'll find out what your degrees of success are to find out how many component pieces you extract from this thing.
Sure. 8.
Is that 2 degrees of
That's
success?
2 degrees on my mechanic.
Okay, cool. You get 6 component pieces from it that you can just use, and you have extracted its hard drive and stuff. So it's that you can get access to its videos, but just be careful. This robot sentient virus is always floating around in the background, which you know.
Yes. Being very careful.
So what you do?
Plugging it into, a non-connected rig that I made just for basically trash the.
Basically, a modified VCR.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So its processor is just good enough to be able to do what you want, but not good enough for the robot sentient virus to do anything with it.
Yep.
Yep. Self-contained controlled system. I get it. All right. So you go ahead and you're able to get into its. It's got plus you have a shell, by the way, of a drone, which you can rebuild later, but we'll get into that at a different point. The hard drive of this particular device shows you some video footage of like a bunch of underwater business. You don't really see any fishes, maybe a couple of fishes, but not really anything worth it. A lot of stuff that floats past the camera that could be food, but you can't. There's not enough. It's like more of a shadow or a black thing or a green thing that goes past the camera. But the one thing that it does note that you do find in all of this video footage is that there seems to be an abandoned boat not very far from where you are. It's a big reefer ship, a big refrigerated ship, and it just seems like it's docked or sort of banked up on a sandbar in the middle of the river or ocean, because this is the sea now, because the seismic cataclysm pushed both ends of the Mississippi River farther apart. So now this is more like a sea between two islands.
It spread it like a knife cutting through butter.
Mhm.
When I see that, I scream, jackpot! And I like jump up in the air with my arms flinging up in the air.
Oh, we're putting Jack in a pot. I was voting for that days ago.
So did you win at the game? No, I mean at the drone thing.
Found, I think I found some food. Maybe it's gonna be, Captain needs to take us. Wait, Which direction? I can never remember. Hey, everybody, look at this. You need to go here.
Mhm.
As she says, think I found us some food, I'm eyeing Jack and just kind of nodding, not paying attention to what she's talking about. I think we found some food too.
Mhm.
We all going after him at once, or?
No, not Jack. No.
Oh, you said put
No.
Jack in a pot.
Go here. See. Look at this. Point at the view screen. We're going here.
Alright.
Yeah,
Yep.
so Captain Lee comes up from under deck. She was clearly working on something. She's got like oil and grease and stuff. She's like, well, fortunately the engine's intact. What did you find?
A ship. A reefer ship. Probably has some food in the refrigeration's still working.
She looks at the
For
data feed.
months.
The data feed that's sort of appearing in the video footage to sort of track where like the the coordinates. It gives you like the
The little
coordinates
green
of where it was.
beep,
Yeah.
beep.
Yeah. Well, in this case, in the bottom of the video footage, there's just like coordinates, like constantly moving as the thing like moved around. She's like, yeah, that's not very far from here. It's just kind of north of where we are. So let's go check it out.
Mm.
Could be food.
I'm going below deck using some of these pots to fix the boat.
Yeah, down below you find just a couple of like bullet holes. There was like a pipe that got damaged, but she wrapped like a towel around it and tied it off. Like just a piece of like rag. It's soaking through slowly, but it'll work. It'll patch for now. But otherwise, there's a little bit of like just small damage here and there.
Okay, I'll see about getting it patched.
Sure. So after roughly a couple of hours of traveling northward, you hear her call again to you guys. This time it's not an alarm. She's pointing to a shimmering in the water. She says, "There in the water, the shimmering." Following her finger, you guys see an oil slick in the water and algae float along with it, making a trail that continues to lead northward. An oil slick usually means damaged boats, and damaged boats salvage. So
Or food.
sorry.
Hey,
little throat coming up.
bet your day's rations. It's the boat.
Mm. So it could be that we'll salvage less than we'd hoped for, as usual.
It still might have some.
Oh yeah.
Fair. Following the line of oil toward the horizon, as the sun gets a little bit low in the sky, not super low, but because it was midday when all of this went down, you see a large ship seated half on a sandbar. The ship towers over your boat. It is with a 5-level superstructure and 3 large cranes rising from its deck. The sandbar is deceptively large, and as you approach via the pushing current, your captain expertly slows the ship out of fear that she may run aground near the giant vessel. As you draw closer, you discover that there's a large hole. There's a large hole large enough to pierce through the layers of the hull from the port side bow, exposing the interior. A battered lifeboat lays half buried in the sand between the visible bank and the large ship. There are visible marks. Other visible marks on the hull appear to be hammered out dents. Somebody tried to repair some of the damage. There is no movement on the main deck, and all signs point to this. All signs point that this refrigerated ship is abandoned. There's no visible light, even in the increasing dusk. Regardless of whether the refrigerated unit is working, the ship does seem to have power. Or whether a ship has power, sorry. There's obviously going to be a lot of mechanical parts to help you survive on the water.
Care more about food. I'll put my motorcycle armor on and gloves on and get ready to go board that ship. Hey, Doc, I know you said that a couple days of fasting's good for you and resets the immune system, keeps the bugs away and such, but I still prefer having a full belly. Just saying next time, no more experimenting.
I know. And as I said also, going at fasting beyond 48 hours diminishes the actual returns of it, and you have to do it intermittently for blah, 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 blah. All that stuff, as I said.
I keep telling you, it feels more like slowing than fasting, Sway.
Sorry, but a bunch of that just went through my head again. All I heard was fast 48 hours.
We're fast forwarding 48 hours? Okay, so 48 hours fast.
Oh, my hunger pains have gotten so much worse.
So we're gonna go board that ship. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peyton grabs his knives and baseball bat just in case.
There's essentially 4 ways that you guys could go about getting onto this ship. One of the ways is to get off and walk across the sandbar and climbing through the hole in the hull of the ship. The other way is walking across the sandbar, lassoing or attaching something to the gangplank that is still risen up and lowering it down and climbing on board the main deck. The other way is if the boat, because the boat is kind of sitting at an angle into the water. The boat that you're on, the captain could drive it up as close as possible, and you could build a bridge between the two boats, walking from the front of your boat to the back of that boat at a slight incline, but you could probably make it happen.
Is there
The other way,
is there any point where we're higher than that boat? Any point
No,
of our
the-
boat that's higher?
no. There's not a point. There is that point where if the tail end of like the boat comes down just low enough that it's slightly above your ship versus like a lot above. The other way, and this is the way that only Captain Lee knew, and so she shares with you that boats like this generally have some kind of emergency hatch in the back near the engine room, just in case like a fire breaks out. People can get out. At least that's what it was before all of the world went haywire. And this ship looks like it existed before all of the world went haywire. So there is probably one of those emergency access panels on the back of the boat that people would be able to get out of on the backside. And it would be buried underwater a little bit, but it would still be there in theory.
You mentioned there is a lifeboat on the big ship that's free for itself.
Yeah, it's laying on the sandbar.
Could we basically, I've got 10 meters of wire and some tools. We basically fish it to us and use that to drive up into that hole, so we're not actually having to walk on that sandbar. That sounds like it's a quicksand trap. Not that I'm judging the GM, but I'm just saying that just reads trap in big bold neon letters to me.
You're just hearing Admiral Akbar in the background being like, "It's a trap." Yeah, I mean, you could probably figure something out to get up to. You want to basically take the lifeboat that's laying on the sandbar, pull it out, use it to get somewhat under the boat, and then try to get to the access panel. Hopefully you don't have to swim very far, kind of feel. Okay.
Well,
I'll-
isn't it better to just go figure out if that's bad or good right now than figure it out later when we might need to run across?
Sure. You take lead, Shinobu.
Always do. Yeah, I don't mind finding out how quicksand works here.
Okay. So Shinobu is going to get off the boat and try to walk across the sandbar.
Sure.
Cool.
I am going to check the ground and just see, if it's rigged up to explode or anything to the best of my ability. Poking it a bit with my baseball bat as I'm walking forward.
I've got 10 meters of wire, so I'm going to basically tie one end up to rebar spear and hand it to Shinobu, and tie the other end up into basically the anchor crank. Actually, we can just use the anchor, the rope on the anchor. Well, those really, really wide rope, and that's not
Robin.
Yeah.
I got a longer rope than that. That looks gonna be short.
Okay.
Want to give a safety distance here.
Great.
Rope of 30 meters.
Oh, that's much better. Okay,
Hands over to Robin.
okay, and tie the other end up to that anchor crank, basically, so that we can crank her in, crank him.
Yeah, if Shinobu goes down, you can crank him back into the boat.
Okay.
I get it. Yeah, easy enough. The ground is soft, but it's not.
Question, Scott?
Yeah.
I've got one more for us that would like to join in about 20 minutes. Would that be a good time? Sounds like just
Yeah, that's probably best.
okie dokie.
Okay. All right. So the ground is soft. The sand is soft. There's water. It's kind of softer on the top. But it is solid enough that you could walk on. It's just considered hindering terrain. So all you'll have to do is make an athletics skill roll, unless you want to move real slow.
Well, I am testing the ground now. If I do feel the need that I'm going to have to move quickly, by all means, I don't mind using athletics, but
Yeah, the ground is solid enough to hold you. It does, you do sink a bit. You're heavier than the rest of them, though, so that's to be expected when you're stepping into sand. But for the most part, you realize that it's probably okay as long as people, use like ropes and stuff, stay tied together. For example, you're probably not going to slip and fall as long as at least one of you has a solid footing.
well, I can go to the other end, and then they've got that rope that they tied to me, so they can pull them. They can Batman scale a building like that.
Yep, 30 meters is more than enough for you to cover the distance from like your boat to their boat to the big boat. and be able to be there, and they can use that to Batman climb across the sand.
And I did
Especially considering that you're like twice the size of even the biggest of them.
And I also did tie one end of it, in addition to tying it to you, tied one end of it to a rebar spear so that you could plant the rebar spear.
Okay.
Back. So yeah, I will scale across it at that point.
So it wasn't tied to me, it was tied to your spear. So you were going to yank your spear out of my hand real quick, was your plan?
Tied to you, and then in front of you, there's a little length with the rebar spear, and that way you could basically anchor it and your.
Yeah, I got that's what she was trying to say. That like basically you could use it to help yourself and also sink it into the ground.
So it's tied to your waist, and then in the front, there's a little length in the tied to a rebar.
Tied to that, and then it continues on to the right.
Yep, just a little extra.
Okay, so you guys that are crossing the water with the rope, I'm not gonna be mean and make it. No, you know what? I am gonna be mean and make you make a roll. Go ahead and make an athletic skill roll for me, both of you. But you will have advantage because of the rope.
Okay, it's good. It's good because I'm not that great.
Yeah, me neither. Wait, 6.
So I forget. How does deja vu work?
Deja vu is the ability to use a luck use per game reroll on any roll that just happened.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth using that, but I did fail by 1 even with advantage. Well, sorry, no, I failed by 1. 26 of 25 possible.
Yikes.
I'm too hungry apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 46 on athletics, and I'm proficient. What did that?
So overlooking
So
at your
look
character.
strength.
Yeah. So it's tied to your strength. So you're just going to use that. Look at that strength number, which in your case is 40.
Yeah.
And that would be a failure.
Okay.
But and you
Did
rolled
you roll
the advantage?
Yeah.
So you rolled
Yeah, I did roll, and
Okay.
advantages. You rolled 2 of them, and I picked the lower one. I rolled
Yep.
a 6 on the other one. So
okay. Yeah, for me, I'm not proficient, so I went from disadvantage to no to flat roll. So
okay.
So both of you slip around in the sand. Because the rope is so securely anchored, I'm not going to have you guys slide off the sandbar. But you do slip around, and it takes you a goodly amount of time to make the distance to the boat. Because you hold yourself. What it actually says is you can try again, but the degree of success, the success requirement increases. But because you were so clear that you tied it to the boat and you tied it to the other player, I'm gonna let the story play
and
itself
gave
out.
rebar
That you
spear
managed,
to plant into the ground.
and the
with it.
rebar spear,
Yeah.
all of it. Yeah, you're able to make it. After a while. So Shinobu, you're just hanging out there for a while as they slip and slide around. But as you guys get past the lifeboat, you realize that it's got some blood in it, and there's a bloody jacket inside. But otherwise, it's kind of damaged. It's clear that this didn't go very far because once it hit the sandbar, it hit it pretty hard, and so the boat kind of got damaged in the process.
This wasn't good for my poor old joints. He massages his elbow a bit, and I guess spots the blood.
Mhm.
Peyton
The jacket.
would
I'm sorry. Go
the
ahead.
jacket.
The jacket inside of it says Sven on the sewn onto it over one of the pockets.
How old does the blood look like, based on its color and all that?
Couple of months at least, but probably a lot older.
Okay, yeah. This ain't nothing fresh. This is.
Check Sven's pockets.
Checks the pockets.
Okay. What you'll do is you roll a salvage roll. It's one of your special stats in the middle of your character sheet, just to the right. So if you look at the middle, it says special stats, and then you go right. There's health points, there's initiative, there's salvage. So you're gonna make a roll to try to beat that number, and I will tell you what kinds of stuff you find when you start rummaging through the pockets.
Right. So.
I have a 20, so that is 2 degrees of success.
Okay.
I rolled a 40 and I had 55, so 1 degree of success. I think.
I rolled a 10, helping, and that is 3.
Okay, so you guys are all rummaging through the pockets and you find a bunch of stuff. We'll see what you guys find. Some of it may have just been in the boat because I'm like, this may be that you find things that wouldn't have fit in pockets. So we'll see. Now that I have revamped and made the random salvage table actually makes sense. I remade it for the GM's guide and then realized I forgot a column of 2s. So it was like 1 through 10 on one side and then 1 through 6 on the other, but there was no 2 column. So it was 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now it is corrected. So we'll go with Peyton first. No, you go first.
I was just gonna say it. I thought you were paused, and I was gonna say it makes total sense though for a maximum apocalypse with timey-wimey stuff. Instead of 13 being the missing number, it's just 2. Just make it part of the world.
There's just no 2s on any dice rolls. You're never gonna do 2.
Exactly.
All right. So Peyton, who had 1 degree of success. Peyton found a 1 food unit, so probably like a energy bar or something. Then Shinobu had 2 degrees of success. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So first thing you found is a crafting toolkit and 2 food units. Must have been a can of something like sardines or some jazz in the boat. And then finally, we have 3 degrees of success over here. And so first thing is a medicine kit, a plastic canteen, and some amphetamines.
Amphetamine. Okay. What do the amphetamines? Is that the +5 to a it, or is that?
I believe actually amphetamines. I'm going to double check for us, but those should be the +10 to initiative.
Oh, how fast do those kick in?
Relatively quickly. Let's go down here. Amphetamines. So amphetamines.
For those of us watching us, while he's looking that up, every item in this game does something. So
yes, and every item is also made of component pieces, which is the things that Alice salvaged from the machine. So you could actually make stuff. So the thing about making stuff is if you can't salvage it like this, like you guys just salvaged from this boat. If you can't find something that you need, you can just make it. You're like, what we really need a crowbar.
Food.
We really need food, right? So you could try to make it with the stuff because all of those component pieces are undefined bits and bobs, undefined pieces of junk. And you can just make like crafting rolls or mechanic rolls to turn them into things. And then you can use them for stuff you need. So amphetamines, they're 10 component pieces as the number that you start with. You reduce that number by 3 to gain +10 initiative for 3 combat rounds. So they kick in relatively immediately. After 3 combat rounds, however, you have to make a resilience special stat roll to not get knocked out. So,
makes sense.
Yeah. So, you have a crash after your amphetamine.
Still,
Okay.
that's 2 good.
That's especially useful if you're fighting something that has like a bunch of actions and you don't. Like, look at me with my
Action
19.
economy for the win.
So like that drone, for example, that you guys were fighting, technically it went on 20, 15, 10, and 5 because the combat round is made up of action phases and the initiative is a stack number and -5 for each phase. There's 4. That thing went on 20, 15, 10, and 5, so it had 4 action phases worth of actions. Alice's character is the one who acts the fastest because timey-wimey business. But then Shinobu was after that, which is why I was going in that order. If a Shinobu, for example, had taken those amphetamines, Shinobu jumps from a 9 to a 19 and is right up there with the drone, being like, "What drone? I can do this too. I got you all day." Like that kind of thing. So that's how it works. Plus, also that's how you'd act on amphetamines, I assume. I've never taken an amphetamine, so I have no idea, but I assume that's how you act. Okay, so that's what you guys find rummaging around through the boat, pockets of the body. Now. Yep. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm at that point. I stuffed my can of Spam into my pocket. There's a crafting kit. I kind of just roughly shoved that over towards Robin, and I'm like, "We gonna get this done?"
Peyton looks at the energy bar. Hey, look at this, Shinobu. You're the hungry one. Push it to him. Here's a snack for you.
Wait.
Before we get to the main.
Oh, wait. Shinobu, did you find food too?
Found Spam.
It won't taste very good, but I think I can stretch out what the 2 of you found and make enough food for something for all of us real quick. Not saying it's going to taste great, but it'll fill our tummies a bit better.
I think it could be a good time to break the fast after this while. Yeah.
So I'm gonna basically make, gruel or porridge or basically something that isn't gonna taste so great, but I'm going to use some component parts that are edible, including, maybe a little bit of the amphetamines for parts and such. But grab some plant leaves or whatever nearby, some of the kelp, basically use some component parts to clean the kelp and chop it up and combine it all into stew or food or something, stew or gruel basically, that will extend those three food into 8 or 9.
Before you do that, before you actually go about doing the gruel and that stuff, which is a really great idea, that is a wonderful idea, but before you do that, there's something here that you should know. Over by the boat on the sandbar, the boat has been here long enough. This reefer ship has been here long enough that it has begun to form oysters at the ground where the boat and the ground connect. Little known fact: if a ship sits on land for a long period of time, oysters begin to grow at its base. This is one of those things I learned from the guy who did a lot of shipbuilding for 25 years before retiring.
Less than specific because it's not always oysters. It's oysters, clams, and various types of bivalves. And some of the bivalves are not very edible.
Yes, that's exactly what he told me too. But some of them are.
Yes.
So he's like, yeah, the ship will get all kinds of barnacles and stuff. And he's like going on like this long thing about like, shell creatures that grow on the undersides of ship, especially when they stay there for a while and don't do anything. But anyway, it's actually really helpful information. So at this point in time, you see all of these shelled mollusky things growing on the bottom of the ship. And you realize, hey, we could probably forage that and also turn that into food. So instead of having to use up your component pieces, you might be able to harvest some of this and eat it.
Sounds awesome. Let's do that.
Cool.
So, I mean, are you planning on us? We're like, I don't know. I heard 30 meters is more than enough room. And so we're just going to kind of like drop down and make a fire or something for this food to be made when we have a ship full of also hungry people back there. I'm not really following that.
No. How much people do we have on the boat? Or was it just the four of us?
It's just the four of you. There were many other people back in the past, but they've slowly all dwindled away. Perhaps you put Jack in a pot.
Okay.
I don't know.
So it sounds like we should get some oysters and get back to the ship. And I was going to do a chemical and stuff, basically continue to forage. But...
Why don't we deal with what we got here, bring everything back, and then get the heck out of here in case somebody knows this boat's here and comes back for it.
Okay, I'm just really hungry. I don't know that I'll last that much longer. But
so am I. So let's stop belly aching and go.
Okay, so sure, let's go in the ship first, and then we'll get the oysters on the way out. It'll be our feast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of way do you want to get on the boat? Do you want to try to wrangle the gangplank and bring it down, or do you want to try to like pry more of this hole open and then climb through into the ship?
Hole. We're right next.
You are, in fact, right next to it.
Also, on our way in, there is one concern I have about those oysters.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned that there's oil slick and oil leaking out of the thing. How much of that, of where the oysters are, have had exposure to oil leak? Because that would render them unedible, poisonous.
As far as you can tell, the oil seems to be leaking out from whatever side of the boat is under the water in the back. So it would be behind all of this. The way the current is flowing, it's flowing. So the current reaches these first and then the back of the boat, and then whatever
these are safe.
Leak is leaking out. They're safe. These are the safe ones. If there was any on the back end, that would be...
Great, then let's go.
Okay. So to pry open this hole, you're going to need to jam something in there and make a prying skill roll, or a prying roll, which is just a strength roll.
Oh, take my rebars.
That would be the kind of thing that you could jam in there. Or if you have a crowbar, you could use that.
I've got crowbars. I've got a whole so crowbar would definitely...
Use we can also have the bats and such like that are going to be good for that. But if you've got a crowbar, that's awesome. We can wrap I can do it and wrap my hands up in the jacket a bit as a makeshift glove.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a crowbar.
Metal against metal better.
Okay, cool. So you put the crowbar into the metal and then you make a strength roll with advantage because a crowbar gives you advantage.
Can I give him any further help?
Two.
Okay, a 2. An ought 2. So Shinobu sort of pulls back on the bar and just goes, "Arr!" And you hear this loud creaking sound as part of the hull bends at Shinobu's whim, almost like the ship is crying slightly. And then this giant hole is left in its wake.
Wow, that was way more effective than I figured it would be.
Yeah.
Oh well.
The hole is big enough for every one of you to climb in, but before you do that, you can smell what smells like spoiled milk coming out from that hole, from the other side of that hole. Not like there's anything leaking out, you just smell is coming from it.
Yeah, figured it wasn't fully operational. Something's...
Well, let's get going. So I'm gonna head on in. Anybody got a light?
Yep. Here. I got a flashlight right for you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I do too.
Okay, you have.
Cool.
I not without using oh no, I do have one. Never mind, I have a
flashlight. I can go in with my flashlight, start shining it about as I begin to, look.
Yeah. So inside the hole, inside the hold, as it were, you find that it used to contain a whole lot of stuff. You can, by the smell, these containers that are inside this hold area used to probably hold some kind of milk, dairy substances. It's essentially, it's very big. There's even like a forklift vehicle sitting there inside of this hold, and there's things on pallets. So this is large enough once you climb in that you could like live. This is like a house. This is how big this is. In fact, the hold is almost bigger than your entire boat, almost, and that's just one. There are three, you realize, based on the map that you see on the wall telling you where to go in case of emergency, that there are three. There are two other holds down here. The hold goes up quite a bit from the bottom. You're in the bottom of it. It goes all the way up, and there seems to be nothing except for a small catwalk on the second floor, but all the way up to a hole in the, there's a covering of the ceiling. There's a small hole in that, and you could see out to the sunlight. That's just how you can see inside. While you do have flashlights, which is much better, the inside of the boat is visible in this particular area because of a giant hole that's cut in the top. On the wall, there is a med kit, another one that is on the wall. It's there. It says, in case of emergency.
Oh yeah, the next emergency will be on our boat.
Yeah. A med kit is 10 component pieces, and you remove one to increase the treatment code by 1 for when you do some medicine stuff. There's basically only one door out of this place, and it leads toward the back end of the boat. Based on the thing that you can see, this leads into.
So start, pick a direction, start heading towards that. So if towards the hold sounds like one of the areas we want to go, let's turn towards that and head there.
There are ladders that also lead up, like on the edge of the wall, that lead up to the top of the boat if you want to climb those.
We staying on the same floor and just working our way through this, then go up.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
work our
sounds
way
good,
up
mate.
floor by floor.
Okay.
That way.
By the door, there are some small lockers. Do you want to open them up?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Listen at them first. See if
Okay.
anything's moving around.
Clever. Make a perception skill roll for me.
Nope. Fail by 5.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't sound like anything's moving around in them. There are 3 of them. Mhm.
So if they're lockers, generally they have slits. Can we shine the light inside to
Yep. Okay. So looking through, you can see that they are lockers and they just hold stuff in there. There's no movement. There's no creatures or anything. There's no skin or fur. None of the stuff you'd expect to find in an apocalypse.
Okay. What kind of stuff do we see?
You just it looks like all 3 of them only hold one thing. There's 2 boxes and one that has a can.
So then open them up at that point to loot them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Luckily, I rolled for this, and this is what they actually contain. 2 of them contain 5 rounds of firearm ammunition, and then the other one holds a 2 food unit can of.
I grabbed the food and put it in my pocket.
This is legit what I rolled. I was like, man, no energy drinks, no rain ponchos, no, it's just gonna be food and ammo. That's what you find here. If this were a video game, you guys would be like,
Now all we need is some liquor, and we could have a good time on our boat.
Now,
Peyton holds up the ammunition and looks at Robin. Did we have any guns left? Or is it gonna be just one of those bargaining chips?
No, mate.
Or
But
do you have your-
if we find me some pipe, I can probably fashion one. Back in World War II, they used to use pipe guns. You just need a few things. I got the wire. I got the wire. I got the gears. But I just need a good pipe, some good unrusted pipe to.
Oh, right. Straight pipes. All right, good.
cool.
It won't be the best, but it'll do something.
Mm-hmm. All right, you guys want to move on to the next hold and find out what's in
Yes.
there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You go into the next hold and you find just pallets upon pallets of canned vegetables and food.
Told you that we'd have food for months, mates. Jackpot.
Oh, yes, this looks very nice.
Mhm.
Let's check the expire dates.
They're canned
First.
food. They never expire.
That's just the government that's trying to tell you when you're not supposed to be eating. And I heard it's just food companies really that want to make more money. Stuff don't go bad unless it smells bad. And then you still got a little window.
This room is entirely dark, by the way. There's not a hole in the thing up on the roof.
Okay.
up
We
the
need a
ceiling of
second
it.
flashlight going.
So this is completely intact.
This particular hold is intact. It's actually kind of chilly too.
I assume that this hold holds more than the size of our entire ship.
Yeah, it basically holds more than your ship would be able to carry. In fact, a lot of it is so the way that it all kind of looks at is while it's all here and it's all sort of put in packing boxes and tarps and stuff, it looks like most of it came from other places. Like it was traded goods rather than prepackaged, carried on this boat kind of goods. So it leads to the idea that somebody's been trading. Whoever was in charge of this boat was trading with other people, and probably trading something in for food. Especially since some of these are like jars, like canned jars of relatively recent date stuff. So this just looks like salvage then rather than a shipment. But yeah, there's a lot of it, like a lot of it. More than your boat would be able to handle.
Peyton looks closer at the packages. Is there any like layers of dust on the whole thing, or does it seem like anyone being there?
There's a layer of dust over everything in the room. It's a thin layer. It is not a tremendously thick layer, so it hasn't been a really long time, but long enough to gather some dust.
You think anyone been here since after the apocalypse? I mean, the Swen guy out there is surely dead, but
After
I mean, are we pillaging someone, or is this free real estate, so to say?
I think it's free real estate. I think that it seems like it's been here for a while. So,
I gotta agree. It don't seem. I mean, we pulled up in a boat and nobody said go away or howdy, come on in and have some of our delicious food. So don't seem like somebody got claim over it. Salvagers' rights, right?
Yeah, but mates, our ship ain't gonna pull this or take this with us. So sounds like we probably are gonna get Grace and move in here for a while as our new base. But let's keep looking.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, might want to stay mobile and get out of here. You stay too long one place, people find you. Like I said, somebody probably knows about this thing. It's been here for a while, you said.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So we'll likely get as much as we can from this, and then maybe try to sell the info on this place for others to pick more of it. But we'll see. The details that after we have made an inventory of everything. Big old spreadsheet in those old computery things, right, Robin?
I ain't done any. No, no spreadsheets for me. Never done any spreadsheets and never gonna. Sorry, mate. Just not happening.
All right.
Cool.
I guess we go to the next room compartment.
Do you? Are you sure about that? Just kidding. All right, so you guys move your way into the second
I'm tempted
compartment.
to take some food with me, to be honest, and start eating as we go. I mean,
how
there's
much
tons,
food
right?
do you take?
Just basically grab a can and just open it up and start eating, and I'll pass it one to each of them because we're moving and so
Yeah.
we might as well. So
What is it?
Brussels sprouts here.
Is that what it is?
Canned Brussels sprouts? That
Yeah,
sounds
canned Brussels
terrible.
sprouts. I know it does sound terrible, but I've seen it.
Sure, it's canned Brussels sprouts. Again, that sounds terrible. But anyway, yeah, so you get this canned Brussels sprout thing. It's not the best flavor of stuff, but it is food. You do get to eat.
Oh yeah.
So each of you consume 2 food units as you're sort of moving your way toward the other cabin. As you're sort of making your way across the room, you start to notice that there's like a bunch of like tarps and stuff laying around on the ground, and some broken wood pallets, and some netting. The thing that stands out to you is that there is some blood on the floor.
Dried blood? How old does that blood?
Yeah. Let's
Well,
do a.
Someone can make a medicine roll to tell me what they
Oh
find.
yes. Let's see. Medicine. I'm proficient in medicine, and I rolled 38. Let's see. Medicine was intelligence.
Medicine's intelligence. Yeah, it's under intelligence.
So 38, and proficient. So what?
So so yes, that would be a degree of success. Yeah, a yeah. Yeah, so this blood is it is about a month and a half old. It is much fresher than Sven's dead body out there for sure.
Yeah,
Hey,
this looks almost fresh.
Hey, is it human?
Oh yeah, definitely human.
Yes, this is human. Very human.
You say
So
fresh. How
what?
fresh is?
Month or something. So this is like someone been here pretty recently. So about the netting, it was blood, and then the netting and
Yeah, there looks
broken
like
pallets.
there was like broken pallet woods and stuff. It looks like it was like being something was happening, and it all kind of links together. There's pallets, tarps. There's the broken pallet, the tarp, the netting, the blood. There looks like there was a struggle here.
Is the blood on top of everything, or is it like what other pallets are there in the holding?
So there are pallets all over the holds. The pallets are what the food is kind of stacked on.
Yeah.
Nobu, get ready to smashy, or is it Stabby.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go smashy, squishy.
Smashy.
Squishy, smashy, and smashy, squishy, but not slashy, squishy.
I'm going to, at that point, ready my 30 in.
We saw a map of the ship at some point. Did we see any? I assume it also displayed where the living quarters of the ship crew.
Sort of. It was more of like an emergency exit map. So what it showed was
Oh.
like the place where you were, right? And it shows like the holds, and it shows the ways out of those, like in case of emergency. There's like hatches, essentially, and like pathways that go. There's like ladders, emergency ladders that go up, essentially.
You were gonna tell me how we build drones. We fast forward. I don't suppose we could. I could spend a luck point to do a flashback system.
It's basically just a mechanic skill roll for 4 different things. It's a time consumer. The reason I skipped it is because it actually takes some time.
Yeah. I don't know how much time we had on the navigation.
Yeah, I mean, you probably could have pulled off at least half of it. So basically what you would do is you would roll for each of the 4 pieces of the drone, the drive system, environmental controls, shell itself. The shell, actually, you didn't need to make a roll on because it was already there. You already had that. So really you would make 3 separate distinct mechanic skill rolls, and you would try to get essentially my dog keeps coming to the room and opening my door.
Okay. Well, it sounds like I wouldn't have had enough time to finish.
You wouldn't have been able to finish, but you could have had maybe the drive system rebuilt in it, and potentially like the part of its environmental command controls or whatever. So then you still would have had like the control system. So it's not online, but the next time you get back to the book, you'd have control over the drone and like have it essentially.
Well, given that I don't know what our situation, I would have worked on it. If that's going to cost me a luck, just let me know.
Yes, I'm not sure. Yeah, I can allow you to have the drone. You can make the luck roll and just say that you did it. Or not a luck roll, but just take a luck point and say you did it. Yep.
Okay.
But then the drone it's a submersible drone unless you gave it legs.
Yeah, I would have worked on giving it. So yeah, I'll spend that luck and have it either done or decide later on.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have finished, but it's on the boat because you didn't bring it with you. But you could control it if you had a radio signal, essentially. Yeah. And we'll decide if that's the thing that happens later on.
And I've got, the remote control with.
Yeah, right. The drone command unit. Yeah, it makes sense to me. Yeah. Yeah. So back to the moment that you're in, you guys draw some weapons. You're like,
So we'd figure there is at least 2 of the crew that survived,
Mhm.
or at least 2 people other than Swen was here and not having a good time, clearly, as Swen had been dead from before this event. So yeah, I think we should check out the living quarters here to figure out how many of this crew might have survived, to maybe know who might be still hanging around in the area.
The living quarters would be up above in the superstructure. That would be something you would know about the boat. The hold area like this would be where cargo is held. The superstructure would hold like people's sleeping areas.
Mates, either of you able to track the blood? See if we can find any signs of where they went or.
Yeah, let's see if I can do some blood spatter analysis or maybe look some trails.
Yeah, it would be a tracking roll to sort of follow where it went, but you can maybe try to do a medicine skill roll to determine like splatter patterns, I guess we'll say.
Okay, so I'll roll out medicine on this.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. 41. So that's a success.
Okay.
1 degree.
The way that the spray pattern kind of goes, you get the distinct feeling that it was whoever made this blood was drug directly back and through the door into the next hold. As they
Someone was clearly dragged here. Yeah. Kicking and screaming, probably.
The superstructure, by the way, would be up on the main deck. As I said before, it's in the back of the boat on the top. There are ladders around you that go up, and then there's the door in front of you that go to the next hold.
We want to go and check the blood patterns and rest of the hold, or check out the living quarters of the superstructure. What do you say, folks?
I think stick on the floor and figure out what's going on here before we start going up, but I'll go either way.
I vote this level and see where they drag them.
Sure. Peyton double checks his crossbow that it's loaded, and it's like, okay, let's see. So I guess we'll go there.
Cool. You gonna open the door to the next hold?
Yep. Well, I'm gonna be behind Shinobu.
Okay.
Peyton is Yep.
Cool. Opening the door to the next hold, the next and final hold based on the map that you saw. The room opens, the door opens, and it's dark inside. Very dark.
We've got one flashlight on right.
Hmm.
Yeah, swing the flashlight round. See
Okay.
what we are looking at.
Swinging the flashlight around, you see what appear to be a lot of cloths and fabrics laying around on the deck, sort of haphazardly. Make a perception skill roll for me.
Okay.
Also, there's a smell, but we'll get to that after you give me your perception.
Alt 1.
I got a 10. Apparently he got a
67. I think that wasn't.
I think that's actually still a success for you.
Is it intelligent? Oh no, yeah, instinct. Yeah, that's still success. Huh.
Yeah, right. Because the intelligence and instinct are where you like are super high, and you're like, I kill it there. You get outside of that,
yeah.
and you're like,
not
Yeah.
3 degrees, but Brandon got a crit, so.
So for the other two of you, you smell the smell of of rotting fleshness, and the you notice that all of the cloths seem to have some shape to them, as if there's something underneath them. Brendan, Shinobu instantly can tell that these are dead bodies all over this room.
Well, how rotted are they? Because, we could eat them.
Pretty rotted, pretty bad. Based on the smell, these guys have been rotting away for a while.
Seems like something else got to this feast before we did.
Yeah, I think this isn't looking too well. Somebody's been
Yeah, that's kind of getting to
getting
the
dark
point
in
that
the
if you move
metamorph.
the clothes, it's just going to be kind of bones and sludge moving with you. You need bones for anything, Robin?
Yeah, I could use some. Mates, bones can always be for a lot of things. Clean bones, please.
Well, you rinse them off a little bit outside and they'd be clean enough.
I
can
don't
use
know how
bones.
long bone marrow holds, but I'll figure something.
We can come back for them. I don't figure it's worth it to be hauling all this out if...
No.
Yeah, I think those cans of vegetables are like a few steps higher on the priority list.
You able to figure out what killed all these people, Doc?
Sure, let's. So, how many of the bodies are there, and like how far into the hold is it?
They are legitimately all over the place. They are filling up the hole. There is something in the neighborhood of 60 of them around this hold. The closest one is short range for me, so it'd be like a movement to it. But they are all over this hold.
Okay, 60. Does that sound like a reasonable amount for being the crew of the ship? It being a superstructure and large and all.
Well,
I mean,
why don't you
more
go?
or less.
Why don't you make an academic skill roll for me to know? See if you just recall stuff about ships and ships like this and how they would work.
So 67. I guess that's an intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Academics proficient. So I guess that's 1 degree of success.
Yep. That's probably a large number for the crew. Ships like this generally run on a crew of about 15 to 20 people. So this would be 3 times that size.
Okay, so this is just not only the crew, but probably a whole bunch of other people. So
does this look like
There's a
slaves
reason-
or something that they were transporting?
no. I think this like the logical conclusion would be there are way too many people here. This have seemed to be not been too well scavenged is because someone have been killing off people who have probably come here and found this. So I think we probably should be extra careful what we're going here. But I'll check out the closest corpse here and see what the cause of death is. Just if I'll figure something extra out.
Hey, Doc,
Yeah,
if what you're saying is true, then wouldn't they be killed at different times?
likely. But I'll check
Can
the
you
first
see-
corpse and see if we dare to go further in, and keep an eye out on the exit and like in case anyone else comes here. So yeah, Peyton moves toward the closest body and looks if he'd be able to determine a cause of death for it and how long it'd been dead.
Okay. All right. So you move in to this body and you lean down, pull the cloth off of it. And as you do, it opens its eyes and reaches out for you, clawing
Oh shit.
at your arm And the rest of you guys see that others start to move around as this happens. So we're going to go real quick. You get clawed at. You're going to be able to make a defensive action. I'm going to make an attack. You're going to make a defensive action. In this case, probably dodge. This is over here in your defensive action section over by your weapons attacks. I'm going to go ahead and roll. You're going to roll, and we're going to compare our degrees of success. That's how combat
I
works.
assume full dodge I would need more time for it or something.
Yeah. So
You take
it's an
5 off your
initiative.
knit to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
it drops initiative, so it has to like it's sort of one of those
Okay,
things
yeah.
where
So
it has to
I'll do a dodge.
Yep.
Yeah. 24, and I have 50.
50?
Dodge, so
I heard 50.
Yep.
2 degrees.
Cool. So I had 1 degree of success on the attack, meaning that you got the greater degree of success, so you successfully managed to dodge my attack. That's how we determine things. There's no like AC level. These guys know this. There's no like set number that they have to hit. It's a composed roll. You moved out of the way faster than the thing was able to claw at you. So the hand came out. You snapped your hand back, and that's when you notice that there are a bunch of them are moving. So we're going to begin some combat versus a bunch of creatures moving around you. Like I said, initiative is a static number, so Robin with an 11 is going to go first. Robin, what do you do as these things start moving?
Well, I was near the dock, so I'm gonna take my wrench and I'm gonna smack at the arm that was.
Okay. That's a failed dodge.
That is 1 degree of success.
8 degrees of success, that's great, because it was a failed dodge, so you totally hit it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and the wrench is what, average damage, I think?
It's a damage.
Yeah.
I don't have the chart on this character.
2d4. Yeah, this new character sheet doesn't have it, which is why we're offering the quick reference snapshot as a thing that comes along with the GM's guide, or you can buy it for printed for $10. It'll probably just be included if you buy like the full digital bundle on the Kickstarter, then it will be included with your stuff. But it should be back in the folder that I shared, but if not,
The damage class A is going for
2d4. Yeah.
I did 5 damage.
Okay, 5 damage. So 5 damage technically does something weird in this particular versus this particular enemy, but we'll just say that you smash the arm of the creature all the way through and like take it down. It just crushes it as you hit it. So basically, you're aiming for the arm and you end up crushing its head. Is basically what ends up happening.
You've got bad aim.
Okay, so that was 5. You said. Cool. All right, Shinobu. There's a.
So I was at the door because we wanted people to be paying attention out. Apparently, Robin went in with the dock to pay attention inward. So I want to look out still to make certain that that nobody is creeping up on us.
Again, go ahead and make a perception skill roll. Make sure no one's creeping up on you.
Yeah, that is 30, so 1 degree of success.
Yep, you don't see anything in the darkness. You hear movement behind you, back in the room where they're at, but otherwise you don't see anyone or hear anyone up ahead as you shine the flashlight around.
Okay. Do you need my help?
I think we are gonna retreat right this moment.
All right, I'm gonna keep the doorway held then.
Okay.
Basically, if something gets near me, I'll take a swat at it if I still have any action.
Got it.
How does the doorway look like? Was it a door? Something that will be able to close?
Yeah, it was a door. It was a door for sure. A door of doors.
Door of doors.
Intact door.
Yeah, and Shinobu is in the doorway, so I mean, not that you couldn't ask him to move out of the way, but that he's sort of keeping it open for you guys so you can't get trapped inside.
And what I figure is,
you'll close it, right?
For me moving through these doorways, I really need to kind of come down just because I'm really big.
Yeah, you are, in fact. Yeah. So you're outside of it. So yes, the doorway is directly behind you. So the way that this game works, these guys, you have 2 actions on your turn, and it is your turn. You have 2 actions on your turn. I didn't really describe this in the first combat, but because it didn't really get there. But you have 2 actions on your turn, and those actions, those complex actions, that's what they're called, can be things that sort of require time or require a roll. So like movement would be a complex action, attacking would be a complex action, taking aim would be a complex action. The only thing that you can't do is you can't attack twice unless there's a trait that says multi-attack on either the weapon or a special ability that you have. Like for example, I think unarmed, your fists will say something like multi-attack too. But that's because you can. Yep. Because you can attack with both your, like you can give them the old 1-2 as your two complex actions. 1 complex action, 2 kind of thing. So that's how it works. So if you were considering moving toward the door, that was definitely something you could do. That's one complex action.
Yeah.
But you could do something else before that or after that if you.
Speaking of which, with my second action.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
yeah, right. And I forgot to clarify that and check on that. So thank you for reminding me. You definitely moved back toward the door.
Yep.
Are you just going to move toward the door? Because the other thing is you can move twice if you wanted to. There's no thing that says you can't move twice. You can move back to the door, through the door as your two actions.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is to me. Oh, right.
Yeah, because you have two.
Yeah.
Because she
Yeah,
used the
then-
wonder attack. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Doc would definitely take and use both actions to move through the door to the other side.
Right. Okay. So one to get to the door, one to go through the door and beyond it.
Yeah,
makes sense to
and
me.
as he does so, he takes his baseball bat from his back and holds it with his both hands, like runs away with the baseball bat, and is like, ah.
Right. Like just in case like something comes at you, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So the creatures in the room all start to get up and move as one big unit of what appears to be 60 shambling things with skin peeling from their faces and hands. They have exposed bone fingers. They're sort of slobbering, slithering, and slabbering, and then blood is dripping out of places where blood should not normally drip up. And they all shamble towards you, coming up to the door. That is the end of their turn, however, because they are slowed, so it requires 2 movements to get 1 distance. So it takes them both of their actions to get to the door, and thus minusing 5 from all of the initiatives. Jumping back to Robin.
Get the frick out. Get that door slammed closed with
Okay. Move through. Slam the door closed. There's this loud bang as the door slams.
Do I think these doors are going to hold them? I mean, 60 zombies is a whole lot for one silly door.
We want to reinforce it, probably.
Oh yeah, I'm already
So-
starting to light my welding torch.
Mm.
I'm gonna weld it.
So the doors on a ship are pretty strong. They are, but you're right. 60 zombies sounds like the kind of pressure that it would take to push through one of those things. So that's not the greatest. So welding it shut is probably a smart action.
Mm.
So what
Did
we'll do
you-
is you guys.
Did you guys see another way out of there?
I didn't
yeah.
have time to.
Yeah, you guys would have had time before you actually went in to check the body because you were looking around being like, whoa, look at all these dead bodies. It had the same ladders that you guys saw before that go up, but then there was another like door on the other side that seemed to have like an emergency exit kind of like sign on it. You know, it had like another one of those emergency exit signs. And it certainly said like there was like a little sign that said like with an arrow that pointed up and said something. We weren't able to read it. But it definitely pointed upward, like there was something like a staircase there that went.
Yeah, mate. There's at least 3 other exits. We'll have to seal them up too.
Oh, they'll be coming for us after they get tired of beating on this door, I figure.
We'll have to move quick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be welding this.
Okay. So because you guys have like closed the door, you have a bit of a temporary like sort of reprieve and not going to continue the combat as it were, but you will be able to make a crafting or science roll to weld the door closed. With your toolkit, you have crafting tools you can roll with advantage. And assuming you're using your, did you have a repair kit? I don't remember. Do you have one?
No, I have 2 crafting kits and
Okay, so you have the tools, not the actual like kits themselves, but you do have wire, so
I have
that'll help.
wire.
I have
and I also
crafting
have-
toolkit.
I have tools crafting, and then I have tools lockpick, tools mechanic, and sorry. So yeah, I have crafting. I have crafting. I have a
Yeah.
crafting. So I do actually have the.
Yeah, you have the tool kits, right? Not the actual. Yeah, no, because there's a thing. There's medicine kit, like and repair kit, and those
Okay.
things that's a different than the tools. So I'm just checking on that.
Yeah, I've got using with advantage. I've got
Okay, cool. And then you're going to put some component pieces into it, I assume. The 2
Yes.
degrees of success. Because you're not in combat anymore, you can put up to 6. You can put up to 6 component pieces into like locking this thing down. The way
I'll
that
do that because I have 6 undescribed C from earlier. So
Yeah,
6 CP,
cool.
there it is.
Cool. So the way that this particular thing is going to work, that the more CP you put into it, the stronger the door is. So whoa, I got out of focus.
Whoa.
Hello. Don't know why I'm out of focus. Trying to get it to focus in. All right, well, whatever. I guess I'm just going to be out of focus for the rest of this adventure. It's fine. I wonder what happened here.
So 6
Anyway. Oh, there it
There you
goes.
go.
Finally.
My glaucoma was kicking in.
I know.
Give me some
s-
amphetamines.
So with 6 of them, the way that it works, each component piece is going to strengthen the door. So it adds more to like the damage / maybe the degrees of success to break the door down. So 6 is a good number. That's a decent weld that you made on the door. Cool. So you make this decent weld on the door. The rest of them know that you made a good weld, even though they're not necessarily as good at crafting as you are. Well, I mean, Peyton might be, but like it's a good craft. It's a good weld, for sure.
Job well done.
But
Can he get a luck? Is it that we give out
Yeah,
in this
luck.
game? You know,
a free luck use? Yeah, sure. Why
Yeah.
not? We'll give him a free luck use. That or I could give him extra experience points at the end of the adventure for puns. That's how this game works.
Okay.
nice.
Cool.
Congrats on the luck. Okay.
All right. Yeah, so there you go. So it's welded closed, and you guys are still in the hold with a bunch of food.
Is there another exit on this level, or are all the exits out of the?
No, so the holds basically connect to each other.
Okay.
There's not really the emergency exits are kind of near the front and back of the boat. Or directly up onto the main deck. So the only way out is to go back to that first hold and out through the hole that you guys helped open, or you can go up to the main deck and see what your options are up there.
I think
So the three holes are like in a line. So we start at the front or back end of the ship, basically.
Yeah, the front end of the ship.
So then the zombies were essentially in the back end of the ship. Okay, right. That ought to buy some time, especially. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how zombies work, so maybe they actually can work those stairs or whatever. Not that it make any sense why they'd had any blood left or anything. Just completely befuddles me in every sense of the medical mind of mine.
well, I've found you just have to think about things a lot less and just be willing to eat what you can, and it makes it easier to live these days.
Peyton looks at the crates and then quickly stuffs a few foods in it, and then looks to the others. And
Yeah, I'm planning on shoving some into my backpack real quick and then moving on.
yeah, I don't know how much we'll get time to grab these, but I think it could be a good idea to go just take a quick loop up there if we find more of those sciencey things, right, Robin?
Yeah, mate. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I can let you guys shove a bunch of food, into your bags and be like, I'm just gonna stuff whatever extra space I've got of food. Not enough to like become encumbered, as it were, but enough to like fill my pack.
Well, I've
Right.
got an empty
Yeah.
backpack that I carry with apparently military.
Yeah, all of the backpacks can hold up to 100 CP, supposing you don't have a bunch of gear in them, which I assume that you guys have a bunch of gear in them because you have gear on your inventory.
True.
Um,
Well, most of mine seems to be on my tool belt. I have holds 2 sets of tools.
Right.
So,
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I have like 2 medical kits beyond that, but yeah.
so I've got a little bit in my pack, not much.
Yeah, the pack's gonna, like I said, they can hold 100 CP, and then there are other ways to mitigate like the amount of stuff you're carrying, like if you have pouches or tool belts or things like that, right? Weapons seem to just be assumed that they're strapped onto you somewhere, and not necessarily in your bag. It's just how it is. Especially because there's like holsters and stuff. It's like, whatever. I've got this gun in my pocket. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I would say that you guys could probably hold divided by 3. Probably 16 food units or so each, which is a decent amount. So that's fine. Like 16 food units is pretty good for all of you. Sharing it with your captain, assuming that's a thing.
Yes.
Yes,
definitely share.
That's a few days. It's a few days worth of food, right? Like that's what we're saying. Between the 3 of you, that's like maybe a good month. But anyway, you can shove about 16 food units each, so that's a thing to keep track of. Guys, you are able to do whatever you want, whether you're going up or whether you're going through the rest of the hold. Sorry, my wife got home early, I guess. Or no, I guess she's been home a half hour. I'm looking at the time. I'm like, it's 30 minutes past.
So
Anyway, so you guys are going up to the top deck then?
Yep.
Okay. Hand over hand, you climb. You guys gonna climb quietly or just climb?
climb quietly.
Yeah, quietly.
Best we can. You want me go first or last?
Mate, I think that I'm the quietest one of us, usually. So why don't I go first and see if I see anything?
Alright.
So I will stealth.
Okay.
Shinobu goes last, so he can catch if the frail old man falls down the...
Plus, what I'll do with the 2 of you that stay back, if Robin is going to scout ahead, we'll do what's called we'll do a teamwork roll with you guys to see what your like the success for stealthing is between the 2 of you together. Like that, it's a thing I've been doing lately, testing out the teamwork thing for stealth, and it tends to be that the party will help each other out. So it doesn't like every time there's not just that one stomping character stomping around being like, I'm loud, right? Like negating everyone else's like attempts to be quiet.
Yeah, something I've thought about doing in some games is just kind of have the middle of the pack, the two people in the middle. You two roll.
Right. So with teamwork, because there's teamwork in this game where, you have the secondaries and then they act in the primary, on the primary's threshold and stuff. Doing that has actually worked out well to like balance it out. Sometimes like the one person's like, oh, I got a failure. And then the other person's like, oh, I got 2 degrees thus. Okay, well, that works out that you guys are quiet. So that's what I've been doing lately. So we'll see it. We'll try it with you guys and see how it goes. But meanwhile, Robin is climbing up by herself. Go ahead and roll your stealth roll.
Sure. I make it by 1 degree.
Okay, so you quietly climb up. It's just they see you, they hear you, but like
Oh,
it's just
hold on.
like the muffled like.
Nope, I read the wrong stat. I failed.
Never mind. You climb up, making all of the noises that you'd make climbing up a ladder with all of your stuff. It's basically because you have a bunch of stuff hanging off you that your your
I know, right?
rebar spear plinks on something or whatever on your way up. You just can't. I mean, have you ever tried to like have like a thing slung over your back and then try to climb or like go up a hill? It just wibbles
All
around.
the toolkits are like clinking together.
Yeah.
16 cans of, food. Bing, 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 bing.
Mm-hmm. Anyone who's ever tried to run anywhere with a tool belt on knows that that's a thing.
Apparently, I'm not that quiet today.
So you get to the top and you realize that the top of the roof thing, it's like really kind of heavy. You can push it aside. It just takes a little effort, but as you do, it makes a scrapey McScrape noise that you'd expect it to make as it slides to the side. But you're up on the top deck. You can see out there. It looks empty, just clear. No movement, no sounds. Aside from the river, nothing seems to be going on up there.
I'll wave them and I'll climb out the top
Okay.
once.
Okay.
I'll
So
help pass the dock up, and then I'll go up.
Okay. So what you'll do is then Shinobu will make the stealth roll, and we'll see what your degrees of success are, and then we'll add them to Peyton's thresholds. See how that goes.
So which check am I making?
Stealth. This would be an agility skill, so you'd be basing it off agility.
I am proficient. I don't have a success though.
Okay, so just no failure. So it's all on you, Peyton, to keep the team silent, as it were.
Yeah, so I failed. I rolled a 43 on a 30.
Okay, so you all kind of just clink your way up the ladders to the top. Unless someone wants to re-roll that.
Nope.
Okay.
Not worth it.
Not worth it. It's fine. 20, 40. Okay, good to know.
I've got
when
deja
you
vu points for later.
What's up?
I've got deja vu points for later.
It's fine. When you get to the top, I am gonna have to make a D10 roll. Hold on 1 second, guys. I am looking something up. This is the downside of having a new table in the GM's guide and putting it way far away from the other tables in the GM's guide. Okay, pulling that one. Okay, that's a weird. Ooh, that's a better one. So when you get to the top, the lid that Robin slid out of the way for you two, the lid that Robin slid out of the way starts to fall back into place. Somebody has to make a quick strength roll to try to grab it and keep it from crashing down on the two of you.
Am I able to reach it from the ground basically while Doc's climbing, or?
So the 2 floors, as I should have described a little bit better, it's not just like a 10-foot thing. It's like a 30-foot climb.
Oh, okay.
So you're up on the ladder basically with the dock, so you can try to like scramble and grab it. I will allow that if you are wanting to do that with disadvantage.
I will basically try and come up on Doc suddenly, kind of grabbing onto his body, pinning it with mine, as my other hand, goes up and reaches for it.
And I want to basically help from the top to try and keep.
I have 15 both time.
Whoa.
I rolled odd, trying to help from the top.
So
she loses a finger though.
Yeah, I would say. So you grab it, but then it smashes onto your hand. We'll go ahead and just give you a little bit of a damage. Oh,
I'm gonna deja vu that. Well, I'll take
you should.
I'll deja vu that. I don't want to break my hand.
Yeah, because I rolled a 4, so
15 is 2 degrees for me.
Okay, cool.
That's not how I remember this happening. Rewind. Oops. Okay.
Well, I don't remember wanting to clean the dye off that floor, but we're going to do that anyway.
6 this time.
Way to go!
Okay, yeah.
Went from odd to odd 6.
That's much better. Much better. This time you catch it just as it goes to slam down at the same time that Shinobu grabs it. And while pinning himself to Peyton and keeping them from falling, grabs it from smashing down onto Peyton essentially and knocking him down, and the whole deal that would have followed. Cool. So you guys catch that and you pull it back out of the way.
I'll go ahead and slide down a little bit on the ladder to allow the dock to continue on up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's close call.
Yes, it was.
I don't like all this climbing. It's bad for my bones.
Bad for my bones. So you get up to the top. You guys get up onto the front top deck, and there you are. It's quiet, even though you know that there's a bunch of undead things down below. It's quiet up there. You can hear the sounds of them down below, but it definitely sounds like there's another opening hatch area over, there, right above where they would be, and you can hear them in there, but they're like muffled and quiet.
Should we check if they seem to be climbing? Just to be sure. I have absolute no idea how zombies work because they shouldn't, like, at all.
Well, we
Looks
should
to
figure
others.
out where they are, keep eye on them, and figure out which way to jump off to get back to our boat.
Mm.
And,
So
Well,
why don't you go look? I point at Robin. Get closer to them since you said you're the quiet one, and I'll start looking around for best place for us to jump off in case.
I'll sneak up a little bit. This time, though, I'm going to I'm going to drop my pack of planking cans each other before I do
all right.
that.
I'll give you
Hey!
advantage then on your sneak.
Okay, I didn't need advantage to say it.
Okay.
Actually, advantage was good. That made me exceed by 3 degrees.
Okay, so yeah, this time around, you sneak up on the lid of the canister or hold area that they're in, and you are able to not make noise as you approach. In fact, it's so quiet that the others don't even know that you've left their side.
Okay.
But you get to the hold area, and you'll have to lift it open. So go ahead and make a strength roll for me because it's heavy. Let's see what happens. Just a strength.
I'm not gonna be able. Yeah, I fail.
Okay. So you're not able to get the lid open on your own. It's certainly too heavy, but you can hear them in there. It still sounds muffled, like they're far away. So your best guess is that they're still on the bottom floor, but that doesn't mean that they won't begin climbing soon. You're not sure.
Okay. I'm going to wave Shinobu over. Well, I'm gonna sneak back to Shinobu. Mate, hatch is too heavy for me to open, but they're definitely down there. Should I just weld it shut before they get up?
Don't sound like a bad idea.
I will go back and I will start welding.
Do you have any other component pieces?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right.
I
So you can
do.
go ahead and make that crafting roll with the advantage and stuff. And then we'll figure out how many component pieces you can throw into it to make it
Sure.
stronger.
I am going to be breaking down that plastic that I.
Okay. I will allow that.
Well-
Then jumping to Shinobu real fast. Looking off the side of the boat, you still see your boat. It's where it was supposed to be. It hasn't moved. It hasn't left. Your rope is still there. I assume you guys took the rebar back, but did you take the rope back? Yeah, I didn't think so. I thought you would leave it there so you could
Yeah.
climb back to your boat if you needed. Yeah. So the boat is still there. The rope is still there. But you can see Captain Lee standing on like the top area of your guys' boat, with
Mhm.
binoculars pointed at yours, and then she gives like a wave because she can see you.
Go ahead and wave on back.
You know that you can shout to talk to her. You know that's a thing, but you're also smart enough to realize that there are also like creatures down below, and it may not be the best thing to start shouting, right? So Shinobu's not immediately like, "Oh, I could shout at that," but you just have the realization that you could, but it may not be the best idea.
Peyton joins with Shinobu to look over to the ship.
Mhm.
He then looks to Shinobu and is like, then he waves to Grace, who's on the ship, and then he like holds a finger to his mouth, and then he does like the zombie motion, pretending to be a zombie, and see if she catches on.
So for a moment, she thinks you're trying to do the Thriller, and then she realizes what you're talking about. So yeah, you guys, because after a while, you kind of have this like Survivor hand signal business, where you're like, okay, if I make like a zombie thing, that means zombies. If I make like if I make like a fang thing, I mean vampires, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If I start doing the robot dance, it means killer robots.
Yeah, killer robots, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you totally pass that message on to her, so she's aware. She gives you a hand signal back that you think she's asking if she should move the boat. I mean, she's right next to the sandbar, and so there is that possibility. But then she can move it. She can move it to the back. The current does head that way, so you guys were talking about a safe place to jump off to get back to your boat. If you were to jump off onto the sandbar, you might hurt yourself because it is, like I said, 2 stories up. You might jump down and hurt yourself, or you could jump off into the water and let the current take you. So
yeah, sandbar's going to be giving. It might hurt you a little bit, but it shouldn't hurt too bad. Just walking across it, we were sinking, so that's nice wet sand.
Mm-hmm.
But the zombies
I've
are
taken
also...
some pretty big jumps onto sand, so Shinobu's going to feel decent with that.
Okay.
But the zombies were toward the back of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, they're moving toward the front end.
Right? It's a conundrum.
Yeah.
So how did you do on that roll there? You crafted how well?
You told me to.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
21. So that's 3 degrees of security.
Man.
Damn.
Nope, that's 2 degrees.
Okay, wow, that is 13 component pieces you could easily put into this thing to weld it down, made of like, if you're melting down or you're breaking down the plastic canteen. Then the plastic canteen contains 3 component pieces.
That's pull up a
Like from a structural point of view, they probably won't be able to
Oh.
put up as much pressure
How much per round of ammo?
upwards.
I'm sorry, what?
How much per round of ammo?
4.
Okay, I'm gonna blow up 2 rounds of ammo, so that way that's 8 more.
Okay, so that puts you at 11, which is 2 less than your maximum.
So not
for your
worth
pool.
blowing up it.
And that's quite a bit as you continue to weld this thing shut. That's a lot. That's more than you put on the door downstairs. Mm-hmm.
It's nice
Cool.
and locked up.
That is nice and locked up tight for sure. They not to be climbing out that way today, if ever. That's how strong that is.
Yeah.
Now, cool. I keep moving around in my chair, and so my light keeps putting on like this. The problem is that this is in the way, so it's blocking it. Anyway, so if I lean back, like you can't see. Anyway, so cool. So now that you've done that, you've welded that down. It is nice and solid. Where do you guys want to explore? Where do you guys want to go? What do you want to do?
Up here.
So up here on the top deck,
Hmm.
3 large cranes reside over the deck. The deck hatches. 2 of them, as you know, are secured, one of which has been welded even better than it was before. While the third one near the front of the ship is partially opened, as you guys witnessed from being down below it with a partially opened section. The crane above that one has been damaged from something heavy being smashed into it repeatedly. These cranes have battery mechanisms, and they have tanks that contain diesel fuel. Otherwise, the only other thing on the top deck or main deck here is the superstructure that is 5 stories.
We're gonna pause real quick.
So the cranes have battery units and they're full of gas. Other than that, on the top deck of the ship is the superstructure, which is 5 stories tall. It has small windows, and on the front of it, you can see like a big glass window that looks out over the ship. So basically, 3 cranes with motor-y type stuffs. One has been broken in. Gasoline and batteries for those, and then the superstructure.
Well, why don't we head up towards where the bridge would be?
That's what that big glassy thing looking out over the deck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the cranes would be kind of to move cargo and stuff, probably. But is it like, it's not like the main section isn't open or anything?
So
Like
there are the 3 holds basically have lids over the top of them, right?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
what she welded down. And so they're
Mhm.
they're big lids essentially, and the cranes like hang over them, and then they draw stuff to the dock and take them off the dock and put them in.
And it was the middle hold that we found all the...
It was the
Food.
third one, the final one near the back of the ship.
That's where the zombies were.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, the
middle-
food, yeah, the
But
food
the
is all in the
food is in
middle
the
one. Yeah.
In the middle, yeah.
in the middle.
Guys, you think maybe we could use the cranes to get some of those food crates up there and almost load it to the ship if Grace gets close enough?
Is our ship big enough to take the big crate?
One
of the cargo containers?
Yeah, you could. It wouldn't take a cargo container. Your ship would not. Your ship is only a little bit bigger than a cargo container because it's a smaller little boat you
Oh,
guys are
right.
driving on. But what you could do is down inside there's pallets of food. You could grab maybe a pallet.
Pallets, yeah.
You can grab maybe a pallet of food, which would be like a month's worth of food for you guys, and like you could probably lift that and put that onto the deck of your ship without causing too much of a problem. But that would be like the max. And then you guys would be good.
Yeah.
But you're willing to give up the extra living space for
Yeah.
food, right? Like
Yeah,
that's the
Yes.
thing.
yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, mates, let's do it. Let's get Grace to load.
So she'll have to move to the other side of the boat because there's a sandbar on the side she's on. But it wouldn't be a problem. She can go around the boat, if you give her the right signals.
And we get to feast on oyster today.
Yes, you guys were going to have Grace move the boat and then food over. So let's do that. So you give the signal to Grace to bring the boat onto the other side of this big ship so that you
Let's
can try
check the other side, make certain that we've at least looked, and this seems feasible. That there's not, water zombies out there waiting to kill Grace.
You look over the other side and you see a bunch of zombies swimming in the water. No, I'm just water zombies. That's a good point, though. It's a good point.
The Haugen zombies.
Yeah, the Sahawagans or however you pronounce Sahawagans. Okay, so
Swimming dead.
I mean, if you saw Emerald City that I ran with the Apocalypse just about a week ago, fairly reasonable thing to assume. But anyway, this is not the Emerald City. So yes, the other side of the boat is clear of most of the sandbar. Like she's not gonna be able to get like right up next to the ship, which is fine. But she can get close enough that the crane would still reach her. But you'll have to turn on the crane. You'll have to remove the lid of this particular hold, turn on the crane, and then operate it. So,
Well, I'm not gonna be the one operating the crane. I don't figure. I mean, sounds like fun, but I'd better be
I got
learning
it.
that when we don't have zombies around.
I got it, mates.
okay. So she drives the boat over to the other side, and then she's ready for you for whatever you were signaling. She's closer.
Okay, I'll tech and start loading.
Cool. This particular thing is actually, sorry, it's actually drive for using the crane, because it's the same as using a machine.
Never mind, not me.
However, I will allow you to use mechanics instead.
Oh, okay, that's
You
me.
just need a great success or better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peyton is by the looking towards the ship and to the crane and like do the hand motions to like coordinate.
All the hand
things.
motions to coordinate.
And I'm
Yeah.
the one that's getting ready to beat zombies if they start coming.
I'm going to use my mechanics tools to kind of jury rig redo the settings and systems a little bit so that it's a little easier on the way that my brain thinks.
Right. So you make your own levers or whatever.
Yay, that was a good idea. Nope, not a good idea because both of them came up the same. 24 high, 24 low. So yes, that is a great, that is 2 degrees.
Okay, perfect. That's a great success. 2 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
So you're able to, I didn't make you guys make a lift roll because I assumed that Shinobu and, I mean, I guess the three of you together could have lifted the lid off, but I think that Shinobu can care of it himself. But yeah, you certainly lift the lid off and then you move the crane, turn it on. And you guys hear the crane rumbling, and I'm going to add 15 to EAG. Plink, plink, plink. I'm going to double check
EAG.
your last two.
The noise we're making.
Oh,
10,
right.
20, 30, 50. Okay, 7. Yeah, so this game has a bit of a thing. I have to keep track of this enemy attraction gauge, its noise that you're making. At this point, if you guys were to try to hunt something on this boat, you would fail horribly because I have a 70 as my opposed roll against you. So anyway, you're getting real close there. So as you're doing this, you're able to success to operate a machine. So you're able to lift the food up, move it over, and bring it down carefully onto the boat. Let me roll one thing here to make sure Grace doesn't accidentally move out of the way. I don't think she will. I'm giving her advantage, and she's got to hide. Oh, geez. So you know what my options were 007 or 007. So
That's like 4 rolls we've been that way on.
Because I had 24 or 24 were my options.
she 007'd it, and like, you know, as it lands on the boat, you're she gets the boat right underneath it, and you land the food on the deck. However, as this happens, a whole lot of zombies come pouring out of the back of the superstructure, out of the one entrance that you guys could see from your position, and start coming down the deck toward you. They are shambling, moving real slow, but they are coming towards you.
Into them. That was my job.
You're gonna go into them?
Yep. Buy our team some time.
Did they come up from the opening we will shut? Or
Nope, the last one that we didn't get to. We
So
didn't
they
know
came
where
up-
it was specifically, so we hadn't gotten to
Oh.
that point. So the ones
right.
because we'd welded all the ones we saw, but we didn't know where the last exit was, and we had.
right, yeah.
Is the superstructure what the bridge is on top of?
Yeah, so the way the superstructure on a reefer ship like this, the superstructure is that back structure. So like the boat's kind of like flat, and then there's that big part that sticks up. That's called the superstructure. So there's decks to that, and that's where you usually find like the crew's quarters and like the mess hall and things like that. And then like the top is usually the bridge, or there's like maybe right above the bridge is like the radio room or something, right? That's usually on like and then this one you can see on the 4th floor is where the lifeboats are like craned out over the side to drop down. But the one thing about the superstructure is it's also usually wrapped around the engine's exhaust stack, and there's usually a staircase or ladder that goes down into the engine room, which is what this boat had. And I only know that from some research I did on boats. So, yes, so that's where they came up from, was underneath and out from the side. So you have 60 zombies pouring onto the deck coming towards you guys. Fortunately for you, they are Romero zombies, slow-moving, shambly Moni types. And Shinobu wants to jump into action.
I want to try and cut them off as they're coming out. Try and keep as many of them bottled up as I can.
Okay. So I'll allow you to do that. That's fine. You jump between them and the rest of the group, and you have your weapon ready because you already told me you had your weapon ready. Are you using what? You should have a katana, but maybe you're just using your baseball bat thing.
Yeah, what does unbalanced do?
Disadvantage when you roll it.
When you throw it.
Yeah, when you throw it. Sorry.
Throw it.
Gotcha.
So unbalanced just means that when you throw it, it doesn't like tumble end over end. It just kind of like floppity flippity flop.
You have to roll disad on.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're using it for normal fighting, you just use it for normal fighting.
And it has reach, so I'm able to keep back from them a bit more.
Yeah, because reach, it hits one movement distance away from you. You can still hit.
Cool. So yes, that would definitely be my preferred.
Now the baseball bat's cool and all because you can two-hand it. You know, the Kansai bow thing. You can two-hand it to get advantage, but reach is useful against zombies because they can't just get up on you and try to bite you or claw you. So I will let you jump into the mix. Go ahead and make an attack roll, and we'll determine what happens.
Okay. Fighting skill check. 8. That is success at 3 degrees.
Okay, then. Well, I'm looking at the zombies right now on my thing. They have a firewall. Oops. Yeah. So
Fireball you.
Firewall. Yeah. So they failed on the dodge. So you go ahead and do damage to them. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Teach me to bring a knife to a fireball fight. How do I roll damage?
So rolling damage on your particular character. Your character is E. E is 1d8 plus 7 is the amount of damage you would roll.
I've played the bomber in this game a few times and broken a few of Scott's modules, so I decided I should avoid that this time.
So
Scott's
where are you seeing that on the sheet?
So on the character sheet it says the damage code is E.
Okay.
On the weapon. So the damage codes are a letter. They correspond to. So in this case, it would be extreme damage, right? So that's what the descriptor.
1d8 plus 7.
Yeah, and then there's a scale, and so you can modify that scale by taking actions or having certain special. So for you,
and where are we getting the plus on that?
It's on the sheet. It's on the damage class. I'll drop the sheet into Discord.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's on the it would be found in the core rule book, in the GM's guide, or in the quick reference snapshot.
All right, so I think I've got 12 on them. D8 plus 7.
Yes, correct.
And yes, once again, that new font looks so much better.
All right, so you did 12?
12.
Sweet. So of the 60 that come towards you, and this is the special thing about hordes, you kill 6 of them with your slash. 6 of them just fall down at your feet. That was 12. So the way that the new rules for a horde is that they're a unit of 20 people, like they always were. But now I broke it down so that each of them has 2 hit points. So every time you do 2 hit points, you drop another one of the horde. So the horde is slowly shrinking, but the horde still has its stats until they're all dead.
Now, does my strength play into the damage that I'm doing? Is that part of why I'm E?
Yes, it does. So the way that your character is built, so the strength and the fortitude go together to make your build, right? So that's where you get your build.
I remember there was something about that, yeah.
Yeah. And so your build is 160 from your strength plus fortitude. And then that determines what your damage code bonus is for melee stuff. So in your case, it's a +2. So this weapon, in the hands of most other people, would be doing massive damage, or heavy damage. Yeah, heavy damage. Gotcha. And you're bumping it up to extreme damage. So because you're just so big. So like if you were to hand that sword over to like Peyton, it would just be 1d6, right? Same sword, just the person behind it's causing them.
Yeah.
Cool. So you kill 6 of them. They die in front of you. And then we'll do a regular set of combat rules. Jumping to the start of the combat round, we'll go to Robin. Robin, okay. You are first.
Do I have basically the palette set? Is the palette and the crane onto the far side?
It is set.
Okay, great. So I have a question about that superstructure. Where in that superstructure is the helm room? Is the piloting room?
So it's on the top, the 5th floor.
Okay. Do I see a path over there right now? Well, okay, let me put it this way. If I told Doc, if I got onto the end of the crane basically, and I had the Doc swing me, could the Doc use the crane to get me there?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Hey, Doc! And I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna grab onto the crane rope and I'm gonna say, send me there! Go hit the left blue, right yellow, and turn it left and up down and send me there! I have an idea. Thanks, mate.
Okay, so you will grab a hold of the rope and prepare yourself to be swung
into that room, yes.
Into the bridge. It's fortunate for you, the glass of the bridge is broken out, so there's not going to be a big glass panel between you and the engine room.
I had a feeling based
Or-
on my time travel.
Helm. Yeah, based on yes, you remember it happening that way. Okay, so that'll be the thing. Shinobu, it is your turn before Peyton can jump in there and try this crazy maneuver.
All right. I want to go ahead and attack again and then move back just to basically keep them, since I've got some reach on this weapon, try and keep as much range between them and me as I can.
Okay, it's just slash and move. I like it. Mm.
And that's a 22, which is 2 degrees of success. And does degrees of success matter for the damage or simply whether you hit or not?
No, it's because it's opposed rolling, so it's a determination between the compared degrees of success. So your degrees of success won't matter in the damage unless you get a critical. Then
Gotcha.
we have critical effects, because there's not like, oh, double damage. There's a critical effect. So something happened. It could be something like you slash through them and they don't even realize they've been killed and then they die, or like you do extra damage. Last game, somebody got a critical. They hit an artery and the alien continued to bleed out till it died. Okay, so you do your slash. You hit, so go ahead and roll 1d8 plus 7.
13.
Cool. That's another 6 of them that dropped at your feet. 13, that's 20, 30. Ooh. All right, so you're down to... Yes, you're down to 20, 40. There's only like 45 of them left, Shinobu. You've been killing a bunch left and right. This is like long slashes that are taken, bringing them down.
It's your time up there, but it's our time down here.
So you back up and you create distance between you and the hordes of zombies coming towards you.
Yep.
Peyton.
And anything, since they're slow and such, if there's, the barrels or anything like that I can use to just kind of get in their way a bit more, slow them down, keep that funneling force going with them, I'll try and use that.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. All right, Peyton, you jump into the thing then, I assume, following the command.
Yeah, makes his way toward it and tries to be a smooth operator for a safety.
Yellow, turn the crank right and left. There you go.
Yeah.
Do you have are you proficient in the drive skill? I don't even remember. You can still do it. I'm just wondering if you do it with disadvantage or not.
Drive.
You are not.
No, and I'm not on
mechanics either. So either way, you're going to be rolling a disadvantage against a 70. So go ahead and try that.
Yeah.
No, it's against the 70s. Chances are okay.
Chances are okay.
No, I failed.
That's 85. Not how I remember it. Deja vu.
She's going to use her luck use, so you just re-roll again. Just re-roll with
I mean, he could use his own luck, but...
He could.
Yeah.
But
right. How does luck? I think I'd want to.
How many luck points do you have? That is on your character sheet below. If you go look at.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So
4.
Okay, so you've got 4 to use. So you can blow 1 right now and reroll.
Yeah, I'll use one right now.
So I'll save mine.
Yeah, that's success 50.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the luck use per game is a way to mitigate those, like, if you're failing a lot, you have options to go, like, you know what, I really want to make this happen, so we'll go ahead and see if we can change that. However, I did watch in one game this weekend where somebody did it like 4 times. I'm like, technically you're only supposed to do it once, but he's like, well, I kept failing! And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, so something really bad happens to you.
He really focuses and pretends this is like the game where you pick up the pieces from the body, the medic game, and he presents
operation.
This is like the medic crane thing. Yeah. This I'll get this.
Yeah, as he continues to try to like move her. Okay, yeah. So you go ahead. You successfully move her all the way up to the 5th floor. So we'll resolve that when it gets to your turn. Alice. So the horde presses in towards you, and suddenly you hear a roar from the back of the group, and what you see is a very large, sort of almost melted-looking lady in the back of this group, and she seems to be shouting stuff to the zombies. In a weird language. Her skin's all like sort of fleshing off, and she's got like an extra arm for some reason, like almost like there's multiple bodies sort of stuck together. But she's seemingly commanding these things.
I was going to ask, is this command?
She seems to be commanding.
I was going to ask if this is a Karen.
I'm writing down her initiative because working off of this whole like blank sheet. Yeah, okay. All right, so then the zombie hordes press in. They're not able to do anything because you threw a bunch of stuff in their way, so they have to take 2 movement actions to get to you. They're back to short range because you threw stuff in their way. And so they start pressing in on Shinobu and on Peyton. You guys are getting close. Jump up to the -5 from everyone's initiative, jumping up to the top of the action phase 2. Robin, you have been craned up to the 5th floor of the super.
Okay. So before I do what I'm thinking about doing, I want to make an academics. Academics, are these zombies afraid of sound by chance? Some zombies, in movies, they loud blaring sounds scare them off. Some are light based, etc. I got a 23 on that, so that is 2 degrees of success on the.
They're probably not scared of sound. That's the thing that you've never encountered.
Sound or
so
light,
far.
neither do either of those bother it.
No, they don't seem. Zombies in this don't seem to be affected by those 2 things. They also don't seem like they can be scared. That's sort of the thing.
No problem.
Fear is not really something we have, but sound definitely motivates their directional movements, right? So like noise will cause them to change direction. That's the thing that you do know. Survival of zombies, it requires you to know things like if I throw something over there, they'll look at it while I run this way. That kind of.
So right now, my intention is to cut off the horde that's still pouring up from the heating shaft that you were talking about. That they were climbing up the heating shaft, because one of the functions that can be accessed from the bridge is when things overheat down there, that heating shaft is created to ventilate, and so I'm going to activate the ventilation on that heating shaft and on an overload basically, and try and basically blow up as many of the zombies in that tube that's climbing up right now as possible, and cut off the reinforcements onto the deck.
Okay. So you're gonna step into the engine room not the engine room,
the helm, and
helm.
do ventilate.
So when you get in there, what you discover is that this particular thing does not have a ventilation system. What it has is a CO2 heat suppression system, fire suppression, as many of these kinds have. So it wouldn't vent, but it would still do what you're sort of hoping it would do. Instead, what would happen is it would spray a bunch of CO2 foam down inside there and cause them all to get pressed down under the pressure of the CO2 foam.
Yep, so I'll do that.
Yep.
I am going to deja vu that because I don't like that roll. Ooh, Alt 1. I went from 92 to Alt 1.
You absolutely found the right control system to cause the emergency CO2 heat suppression system.
That was a worthwhile. That was a really worthwhile deja vu.
Roll 2d10 for me.
Sure, 210. An 8 and a 7.
Cool. 15 zombies get pressed back down, and what you guys see up on the deck is you see some CO2 emissions, just like foam. It's fire suppression foam that goes spraying out like all over the place. And a bunch of zombies get shoved off of the boat into the water behind the back of the ship, off to the sides, but not near Grace, fortunately, luckily, because it was an Alt 1, right? So I'm not going to be like, they get shoved onto the other boat. No, they get shoved off in all directions. And the ones that are coming at you guys, kind of, some of them get shoved a little bit forward, but like a lot more get shoved off the boat or down, backside, down, inside. So you just see this whoosh, and you hear wah, 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 from the fire alarm klaxons going off.
Awesome. Then I achieved my initials impression, my initial plan.
And to be clear, there's actually all up in these rules like how the fire suppression system works. It's part of the.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I'm glad I thought of going up there and doing that then.
It's in fact right here. There's a CO2 room. Was one of the rooms that you could have been exploring, which you haven't explored yet. So yes, you cause all that to happen, and then we go to Shinobu. Shinobu, you saw these zombies getting blown around by all this fire suppression foam.
Awesome. That sounds awesome. That I'm dealing with less of them. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still we're about half strength on this massive.
Yep.
From what I'm
Yep.
hearing.
There's about 30 of them still.
Let us keep cutting them down. And Alt 9. So that's 3 degrees.
Ooh, I got a 003, which is also 3 degrees. But the zombie hordes are not bosses, and the new rules are ties go to the player unless they're a boss.
You did make that change. We were talking about that, I remember.
We did, and I've tried it out. It actually works out just because when I throw a boss at people, then we have this other problem where it's like, oh, I tied. Guess what? Yeah, so it works out fine. It actually works out okay. So we're going to go with it. Yes, so the ties go to you. So go ahead and roll your damage.
That's 11 more damage to him.
Oof, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's 5 more.
All right. Yeah.
Slain.
And then back away. Continue to back away.
We got.
And hopefully I cut off any more reinforcements that are coming up out of the tube for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to calculate this up because I have multiple hordes here, so I'm just trying to like spread out the damage. Got rid of a horde and then still had the others had lost some as well. Yeah, so yeah, you take down a bunch. There's still more, but it's not nearly as many coming at you guys. All right. So and you back up. So you're backing up past Peyton, unfortunately, unless you stay there, because you can only go so far until Peyton moves behind you. Which leads me to Peyton. You've now moved. Yeah, you've now moved her. One small problem: she'll have to get herself down if you leave the crane, or you can stay in the, or you can do something. Anything else?
Yeah. I was thinking. I have matches and I have like 2 medical kits.
Mhm.
In the medical kits, do I have like bottle of alcohol or whatever?
Not
could
exactly.
be-
They're more like these medical kits are more like gauzes and stuff. They're supposed to help
Okay,
you in
right.
treatment.
Hmm.
So do you have like any? Do you have isopropyl alcohol or 80 proof alcohol or anything like that on you?
No, I don't have anything like it. I have oxygen mask, but that doesn't explicitly say it has any oxygen tank.
Yeah, oxygen tank's a separate thing. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
The
However-
crane was operated on fuel and batteries. Nah, never mind.
Do you have? Well, let's look real fast. One last thing. Oh, you don't have any component pieces. Okay, yeah, that's unfortunately you don't have any alcohol or flammable like that.
No. Okay, then Peyton's gonna stay in the up there, and he takes his crossbow and like aims the largest crowd and just takes a shot and see if he'll manage
So-
to hit at least something.
With take aim, you get to give yourself advantage. So that would be a thing.
That's good. I'll definitely need it to hit anything. So let's see. That's 09.
Ooh.
So that's
That's it.
actually that's I have a threshold of 25 with crossbow.
So that would be, I think that would be 3 degrees of success. No, 2 degrees of success. 2 degrees
What?
of success.
Two.
Yeah. 2 degrees of success. I failed, so you hit. Go ahead and roll the damage. Oh, I should probably tell you what the damage is. I keep forgetting that you guys don't have the snapshot. The damage on the crossbow is light, so it's 1d4.
1d. Let's don't have d4 here right now.
I can roll for you.
Yeah. Just roll.
That's 2 damage that you do. So it kills one of the zombies.
Yes, one hit.
Damage kills a zombie.
Robin, get
Nice
quick here.
going, Doc.
So
I can reload.
the trick with Peyton, FYI, the cool special ability you have is that you give people adrenaline shots.
Oh right, yeah. But then I have to like physically be there and
And give him an adrenaline shot. Yeah.
right.
So that's your thing.
But that's 5 in knit and +1 melee damage class. That's awesome.
Yeah. It essentially
yeah,
turns,
right.
it'll turn Shinobu into an even bigger monster.
Oh right, yeah. Shinobu, get back here. Let's get you up and rolling.
Yeah, so that's Peyton's thing. So Peyton's the one character that can mess with people's initiative and roll and be like, now you've got more, and now you've got more, right? That kind of thing.
And actually, if you're looking at something explosive, what you can do is you can take one of your syringes, pop the match into it, pop that into your ion battery, and toss it, and let that basically go down and boom, blow up your ion battery.
That'll be a thing.
You can rig that.
Someone could try that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's what you do, and then we'll then drop down. The zombie horde presses in, and Peyton, the zombie horde gets to you in this time. They're like right on top of you. They're all in close range. I'm gonna have like just one little swipe with disadvantage because they're like moving around. 54 is a miss. So don't worry about it. There's like claws, like hands come out, and you have your standard in the as they're clawing at you. That was old man rather than zombie, I noticed, but that's okay.
Mr. Smithers is in the zombies.
Oh, you kids with your crossbows. So that's what happens. They press in on you, so they are now surrounding you. Then we will -5 from everyone's initiative. Oh, and the one gives commands out there, and I will deal with that in a moment because that changes up something that happens. Then we go up to Robin for the third action phase, which will be the final action phase of this combat round before we reset.
Okay.
And if, like we did the amphetamines, this
Yeah.
whole thing is just one of the turns that the amphetamines
Yes.
provide their bonus on, right?
Yes.
Correct. Yep. So the combat rounds are actually just a marking of time rather than like actions. So in a combat round, there are 4 action phases. So you guys take 1 to 4 turns, right, in a combat round, depending on your initiative, and then that marks the time. So the amphetamine would be like 1d4 or 3 rounds, right? So then that's 1 round, and then you'll have your turns, and then that's another round. So the amphetamines will actually last for a while. Same with energy drinks; they have time. The same thing with Peyton's special ability. It's +5. It's +5 initiative and plus a melee DC +1 per round per degree of success. So he can actually throw.
Yeah.
He gets he does his medicine roll. He gets 2 degrees of success. That's 2 rounds that you have that adrenaline.
Okay.
So he left the crane, but the crane is currently basically hanging near me, right? Hanging over me. I just won't be able to get out. Okay.
I didn't leave the crane, but
Oh, you didn't get out of the crane
he
yet?
was inside the crane and shot.
Yeah,
took a shot.
he's trying to deal with the zombies at the crane. So he's staying in the crane so that he can try to rescue you when you get back on the crane end. Yeah.
Okay, well then I don't want to make him wait because I will not do my secondary here. I'll get on the crane and get out. I'll pop amphetamines for this round.
I was gonna say I'll give you a hint. You will also be the first one to act as soon as I reset this combat. So
yeah, that's true, but but I have to take an action to pop my amphetamine. So what I'm going to do rather than get on it right now is I am going to grab. Can you give me an idea of the rest of this console? What is? Yeah, the rest of this console.
Sure. Gotta go
an
to
idea
the
for
superstructure level 5. Do wheelhouse, right? This is the wheelhouse. This is a large room with controls for steering the boat. There's a large window that looks out over the deck that's smashed. The room, let's see, there's a lot of stuff going on here. The wheelhouse is severely damaged. It's been smashed, and dials and levers have been cut, and the wiring is exposed. There's a big fire axe embedded in the electronics. This room is basically just a bunch of random bits and bobs. You just happen to do really well on your roll that I allowed you to hit a button that worked.
Awesome.
But yeah, otherwise, the radio in here is smashed, and there's just a bunch of component pieces laying all over the place.
Okay. So I'll just grab a handful of component pieces and pop my amphetamines and get ready to jump up onto.
Okay. All right, so roll salvage for me real fast. You have to roll. I think actually, hold on. I think you rolled it. Let me double check what I wrote in the rules with the most updated rule list stuff. So I don't tell you the incorrect information for people watching at home and go, "Oh, that's not what he shared in that video." Even though I've been told that it doesn't matter because people will still play the game anyway, even if the rules are incorrect on a stream. Okay, come on. Work with me. Combat. Here we go. Rushing, ranged movement, hindering terrain. Man, there you go. Salvaging during combat. It's not really feasible. Okay, it takes 2 complex actions to salvage.
Oh, okay.
What I'll do is I'll just give you 1d4 component pieces.
Because it's really exposed here and really a mess. Sure.
Yeah. So, because there's a bunch everywhere, so you can just grab a handful, scoop it off, and take off. Yeah.
Pop the amphetamine. So I'll be adding 10 to my.
Yep. Right. So do you want me to roll the 1d4 or do you want to roll it?
Oh, you can roll the 1d4. Trust ya.
Okay. 2.
Ooh, okay.
That's 2 more than you had a moment ago.
Exactly. I'm happy with that.
Okay. Pop your amphetamine. All right. So we're minusing 5 from everyone's initiative. There's nobody left. So we're going to go ahead and reset the combat round. So we go reset it to the top, adding 10 to Robin. Okay. So that leaves you at 20. That maxes you out because, that's a thing. And so that's 20, 15, 10, 5. Cheesy creasies. Okay, there you go. All right, so Robin, you are going to.
Okay, I grab onto the thing and have my rebar spear out. I grab onto the rope and I'm ready for my rescue. If I think that I have a strong enough hold on this, I'll even stab down as he's moving me. Otherwise, I'll just focus on keeping hold on.
Okay. That's fine. I will. You grab a hold and hold on to it tightly. Shinobu, Peyton is being swarmed by a horde of zombies.
Yep, I am charging in on that.
Okay.
I cannot let the dock get beaten up. So.
Okay.
Okay, that's going to be luck.
Okay.
And That is a success 1 degree.
Hold on.
It-
As I recall, before we resolve that, as I recall, the one exception to the fact that normally luck is only one roll, you can only roll it once, is my deja vu power. I allow them to get separate. So, Brandon, would you like that re-rolled? Do you think you have a good chance of getting better?
I've got a 35% chance of rolling better than that and a 30% chance of rolling worse.
So your chance is better. It's up to you. I'll deja vu and say that's not how it happened. That's not how I remember. Okay, Brandon's choosing that. So that's not how it happened. He went through them like crazy.
And I've got 2 degrees of success.
Nice.
Okay, 2 degrees of success. 35 on my side. That is 1 degree of success. So you absolutely do it. I mean, so you cause damage again. Go ahead and roll your
15 damage.
Nice.
I maxed out that time.
I feel like I
Nice.
held damage. Ooh.
15. That is what, 7? 7.5, basically.
There's the one that's the legs have stopped and it's still crawling forward towards us.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. So okay, so there's only like roughly something like 22.
Doc, shut the door to the crane. I'll deal with them.
Yep. So the one shouts a command, and all of the zombies seem to move and directly at Shinobu. Like Peyton doesn't even have to worry. They're not even pushing on Peyton's door anymore. And they come in and they claw at him. Ooh, I got a success.
Okay, now, because I'm an anarchist, my defense rolls are at advantage, correct?
Correct, because you're fighting more than 2 opponents, or 2 or more opponents.
2 or more opponents. Okay.
You're fighting 22 opponents, as a matter of fact.
Okay, so I have a... Where's my defense? So this is just considered a dodge at this point?
You could be parrying, by the way. You could be
Okay,
parrying
cool.
them.
I will
They're
parry.
fine.
That is a level third level success.
Okay, you absolutely parry the attack as all these hands, you just kind of swing your sword, knocking a bunch of hands away from you as they come in, trying to hit you. All right. Cool. So you block that. Goes to Peyton now. Peyton, you're in the crane.
Yeah, so Robin is now holding on to the crane,
Holding onto the rope.
to the rope, yeah. So it was like she managed to, in one action, easily climb from it from the operating section to the...
Yep. Because
Yeah, okay, so...
I took my
'Cause I
full
wasn't-
action to do so. Complex.
Yeah, I
to
wasn't-
two actions.
Yeah, I wasn't because normally she would have to, if she tried to do that and something else, I would have made her make an athletics roll, which she could have failed and fall into the deck.
Yeah, which is why I'm
but
like,
she's like,
I'll take 2 actions.
So that's exactly right. She's like, I'll use both of my actions to like take my time
right,
to climb.
yeah.
Yep.
Right. Peyton operates the crane, so it moves
Back over.
back over the ship. So Robin could...
So make a mechanics skill roll for me again to see, or a drive, whatever, and we'll see how well you do.
Let's see. And that's 28. So that's 1 degree. No, wait.
28 should be 2 for a 70.
2, yeah.
Okay.
2 degrees of success.
All right, cool. If you failed, basically, if you were gonna fail, I was gonna have her make an athletics roll to stay hanging on to the end of the crane because we're in this like intense moment. But 2 degrees of success, man. Yeah, that's totally like woo. She just hangs on as you move it and lower at the same time. And are you driving her on the boat, the other boat, or are you driving her on the deck?
Toward the boat.
Yeah, the other boat, Grace's boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he lowers you. So he swings you and lowers you at the same time, and you land gracefully onto Grace's boat with right next to all the food. All right.
Yeah.
That's an action, and that's because it's complex action that's a skill action takes up 2 complex actions, so that's 2. Is there anything else you want to do real fast? We can see if that's fine if you want to do that. Like, did you want to move or anything, or stay inside?
So I can't make any complex actions.
Yeah, so a skill action like this one generally takes up both of your complex. But I was going to allow you if you want to do something like quick and easy. I'll allow it.
With 1 move, could I get like... Are there zombies between me and Shinobu?
Yeah.
Yeah, so moving toward them would be kind of drawing zombie attention. From the cockpit of the crane, would I have an easier time climbing to the ship than from somewhere else?
Yeah, are you asking if you could climb out onto the crane and then down onto the ship? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
do that. Would be way easier than trying to climb out into this horde of zombies right now.
Yeah. He shouts to Shinobu that, hey, I got Robin to the ship now. Let's get the heck out of here.
We're winning.
Well, yeah, I
All
stopped
right,
the reinforcements
fine.
from coming up. That was the whole. That was my whole
All right,
idea.
fine. He prepares his crossbow to take a pot shot.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I assume.
Get all ready for your next action. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. The zombies. The queen gave a command. They did a thing.
By the way, he's shouting to the others. Like, is that some kind of free action or how?
Yeah,
Can
shouting little like things back like to somebody is a free action. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I just realized that Alice was kind of like maybe she was wanted on to with her actions, but hey, I didn't hear any command, so I went with my character was thinking about doing. So
If you drop me
Yeah,
on
it's
the other
fine.
one, that's yeah.
It's fine. She gave herself extra actions so that she could not help you. I
can still help.
You can still help. There are things you can still do.
Yes.
Speaking of which, we'll go to you because I bumped the zombies up in initiative because of their commands that they were given.
Okay, so I have a question. With how extended he has, how much he's extended that crane, can I basically go like that and push it back, and it'll pendulum back onto that far ship? And how far would onto that?
Yes, it should. In theory, if you were to be able to, it's heavy. So the problem is swinging it's going to be the harder thing. You may have to first off, you'd have to make a luck roll to see if you can even get it to swing well enough over there. If you fail it, then it just takes another action. So you'll just be like trying to swing it because it's going to take all of your body motion, not just like your hand to like throw it. Right?
Okay.
You'd have to like swing it with your body motion because it is a heavy crane that's supposed to like lift, big sea things like big shipping containers and stuff.
Okay.
So
great. So I've got a lot of extra actions right now on complex action, and so I'm going to be taking 2 complex actions to upgrade one of my machetes with my archetype ability, and then I'm going to put the fix it to my bot. So my 2 complex actions right now are to upgrade that weapon. I'm done.
okay, cool. What you'll do is we will roll a crafting.
I do have to roll.
So be crafting in this case, and then that just tells us how long that upgrade lasts.
2 degrees.
Okay, so it's going to last 2 combat rounds. Because it happens. It's just a matter of like how long does it last. So for whatever your upgrade is, it breaks off and the barbs or whatever you put on your blade, however you upgrade. Maybe you put a weight on the end or a big metal thing or whatever. Anyway, okay, cool. All right. So then we go to Shinobu.
Continue the assault here.
Yeah, the
Try
chop
and-
chop. Quick chop.
Yeah, finish these guys off. And that's a 16, so that is 3 degrees of success.
I got 1 degree of success on the dodge, so you have nailed it.
14.
Jeezy crazies. Okay, well, Shinobu's just killing these zombies like there's no tomorrow. Yeah. Cool.
How many lever left at that point?
22 minus how many? You said 7 off?
15.
15 left plus the boss.
Cool.
Oh,
And they
that's
seem to
nice.
be on me, so I will go ahead and back up off of them. They can either choose to split towards the dock and me, or come after one of us, but he's at least kind of in a cage that hopefully it'll take them a moment to get through.
That melty zombie lady seems to shuffle forward toward both of you. And she shouts again, her shout. The other zombies shuffle forward toward you and they attack. They get 2 degrees of success.
Ooh. Parrying, that's not going to do it.
You've got
Okay.
your luck, Brandon.
Yeah,
How many points do you have of it?
I've got 4 left.
Maybe.
2 degrees, that's only at 35%. I made a single success, but
Okay.
to get it by half is going to
Yeah.
be kind of rough. I totally read the die backwards at first. I thought it was an 5, and then I'm like, no, that's a 50.
I just realized that these guys actually are bosses, but that's fine. All right, so you take 5.
Hold on. You're telling me it's a mob boss?
It is a mob boss. It's a boss. It's a mob of bosses. Yeah.
Oh damn.
Shinobu, I think that Big Tony needs to have a talk to you.
Yeah, so that's it. So basically you're fighting 2 bosses, I just realized when I was like looking at this. I'm like, oh, that's 2 bosses in this fight. But they only do 5 damage to you. which goes to your armor first before it goes to you.
So I have 6 armor points.
Yep. So 5 of them go away.
So I have 1 armor point
1 armor point left.
in my paper armor.
They shredded it through.
All I have left is my little paper boat cap that you kids make out of newspaper, folding it up and all. That's all the paper armor that I've got left.
All right, so that happens. That took your armor, so you didn't actually get hit, so no immunity roll yet. It goes now to Peyton. What do you want to do?
Right. So to grant the adrenaline surge, I have to be next to someone.
Yep.
But the zombie horde is thinning out.
Yes, it is very much so.
But I saw the lady making those creams, and it was clearly way too effective for those. So, actually, if I take an energy drink right now, would I get an action more?
So it doesn't go into effect. All these initiative bonuses don't go into effect until the beginning of the next combat round. This is, however, your last set of actions on this combat round. So after you, there'll be Alice. So Robin will go twice, and then we'll reset the combat. And that's when the energy drink will go.
Okay.
Which is why I waited till the last initiative to pop my amphetamines. It's like I knew the system or something.
Yeah.
It's like
okay.
GM did
Would
a
it
little
be a
too.
simple action to take a sip of energy drink?
Yeah, it would be one of your complex actions to slam your to use an item.
And then I would have a second complex action.
Yes.
Could I still take a pot shot at the lady?
Yep, you can still attack. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll take a good sip of the energy drink and then aim my crossbow at the screaming lady.
Okay, go ahead and fire your crossbow.
Let's see how this goes. And that's not good. That's definitely a miss. I used one of my luck, and I still have 3 left. Let's see. Can I use luck on it afterwards?
Yes. Yeah. You would use luck afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. So, nope. That's still a miss.
Okay. Your bolt goes flying wide of the screamy lady thing. Cool. All right. And then we go to -5 from everyone's initiative. And that would be then. Wait, did we reset? Oh, we haven't actually. Is this the end of the first action phase?
This is the middle of the second.
I've only taken 1 action with my amphetamines at 20. Just saying.
That's what I mean. So I think I may be confused about where we're at, but that's fine. So what we'll do, it's actually just on
15 is where we should be next because I'll get an action.
Yeah, I thought that this might be the case. So you would still get actions, but your energy drink doesn't take place until the end of the beginning of the next round. All right, so 15, Robin, you get to take more action.
Okay. So you mentioned that he climb up and over. So I'm wondering, can my drone at that point climb up and over to their boat?
Yeah, you're controlling your drone, then that's fine. You can have it.
Right. So I'm going to use the drone to deliver Shinobu a better weapon because I'm going to move him from extreme to devastating, which will be 2d8 plus 7. And then I'll have a drone there to shoot the lasers that came with the drone. So that's what I'm doing, is piloting the drone up and which it'll spend this turn getting there.
Yeah, it'll take at least 2 movement actions.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
So I'm done.
Clink, 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 clink. So Peyton, you just see this like robot thing going tink, clink, 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 down the crane towards you.
And I'm gonna call out to Shinobu. Hey, Shinobu, mate, grab my machete. It'll do better.
Yep.
Oh yeah, same day delivery. Nice.
I modded it.
All right. All right. So Shinobu, it is your turn. There's a robot at the end of the crane near you. Something about machete. There's a bunch of dead zombies around you, and there's and there you are.
Okay, well, sure. I can drop my katana and grab that machete.
Okay, that's going to be devastating. So a category up for you because you went from you would have done extreme. So 2d8 plus.
So all of a sudden, Danny Trejo is standing there. Listen, zombies, you're in trouble now.
Yeah, I'm not surrounded by zombies. I'm surrounded by dead men.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I have 3 degrees of success with an 8.
Oh,
okay. That's better than my 1 degree of success with my 60.
So.
See, I told you I could
totally
still
do.
help.
2d8 plus 7, please.
Okay, so I have 15 on dice, so that's going to be 22 as I machete them.
Which takes
Form
out
of Danny Trejo.
which basically takes out the remaining zombies, according to my math. I think there's maybe one more, but I'm just gonna hand wave that it's dead as well because that's pointless.
And now he has a nicer weapon against the boss.
Yep. Now it's just you and the screamy lady.
Hey, and a laser shooting drone.
Well, yeah, and also Peyton. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So then we go to the screamy lady. She screams again and takes a step backwards. She doesn't have any ranged attacks, so yep, we'll just go with that. That's what she does. So then we go to Peyton.
So Shinobu was coming. How far away was Shinobu right now?
I'm not that far from you.
No, Shinobu's really close, like just one movement away from you.
Okay, and was the zombie lady kind of in between us, or?
No, she's way over there.
Okay, she's way over there. Okay,
Yeah.
then Peyton jumps out of the cockpit and runs up to Shinobu and like, okay, let's finish this. And slams him with that.
Adrenaline shot.
Yeah,
All these buffs, you're gonna go insane.
yeah.
Form of Danny Trejo on drugs.
EpiPen.
This
Yeah,
is
that's
Danny
it.
Trejo. This is Danny Trejo on drugs.
Near far.
It's because these guys dropped loot for some reason. I didn't put that in, but that's fine. We added loot to them for some reason.
So is that people have action to?
No, they're
shoot
going
the-
up to him. So you're gonna make a medicine skill roll, so we're gonna know how long.
Oh right, yeah.
lasts.
Medicine skill roll.
2 and 2 food
Let's
units.
see. So that will be. Oh dear, I'll use a lock on that one. That was clearly not. Okay, that's better. 46. So that's just 1 degree of success.
Okay, so that adrenaline rush will last for 1 whole combat round, which is actually a
so
decent amount
plus
of time.
5 initiative and yeah, good.
Okay, sorry, one last thing that I'm doing just because loot drops are apparently a thing. So all right, cool.
Like a video
All right.
game.
Yeah, there was this thing that was added to these guys. Some of the bosses, it's like the reward for killing a boss is that you loot drop. Apparently, they have 1 random salvage item. So I was just writing down the random salvage items that you guys apparently uncovered by killing a bunch of zombies. So anyway, so you slam him 1 whole combat round of adrenaline. Gives him a +5 whole combat round. And his melee code goes up. So now he's with that machete plus the melee code. He's what at
So he went from devastating to ferocious. So 1d10
Ferocious.
plus 11.
Yep. And
Jesus
then ruinous is
Christ.
the only one after that. Whew, he's
Yeah,
basically a bomb.
Well, there's ruinous and there's
Yeah.
ruinous light, and so
Right. It then becomes a scale where then it just
Yep.
adds the previous damage
Yeah.
codes on top of the ruinous, right?
Yep.
so he's still on the scale.
yes,
he's still on the scale, yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
an F right now, which is 10 plus 11.
I have never seen a character get this high ever before. So
And he's got it for the
Alright.
next 2 combat, rounds. So he's got it for at least 6 actions or so. It's pretty awesome.
Unfortunately, you guys have doomed me to die. I'm quite certain, but I just have to say he's power level ferocious.
You are not gonna
Yeah.
die. Still got plans.
No.
Yeah, well, it comes to you, Robin and her plans.
Okay.
However, if you're gonna use the drone, should like the drone's attack.
I need to go to mid range. I know.
Well, I was gonna also tell you that you have to make it would be a heavy weapon skill roll because you're controlling the drone.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Okay.
So I'm gonna move it into mid range and pew pew.
It uses a machine gun, by the way, so I'll give you the second.
Okay. And also hold on. I don't believe I have that, so I do have to roll it.
Which is what I thought.
Yep.
So that's why I brought it up.
However, 33 and 33, like 3 and 3 are
Whatever, dice.
30,
Whatever.
30 and 3. 33 on all rolls. So 33 is going to be a success.
Okay. Ready.
Tell me the damage rating on that.
Well, the lady got 3 degrees of
Oh, okay.
dodge. So she managed to get out of the way this time.
This
But-
time, but that's okay.
yeah.
I'll get her next.
Yeah, next you'll get her next time, Gadget.
Plus, I'm just basically I'm basically aiming and guiding her into Shinobu's blade. So she's dodging out of me and dodging into his machete.
Yeah, to be fair, that does mean she has disadvantage on her next dodge this action phase. But she doesn't get to take actions, and so it just goes to you again to take actions because you and your amphetamines are all doped up. So you can shoot it again. The auto rifle does have multi-attack too, so you can actually shoot twice. The second one has
Nice.
disadvantage.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, I already had disadvantage. You can't triple disadvantage or double disadvantage. So that's
You
good.
can double disadvantage. It's a great success that you would need to.
Oh,
make the
that's
shot.
true. That's true. I'm not going to multi-attack though. And so it was a 21 or an 11. So I get the 21 since it's a disad. I believe that's 2 degrees of success.
Does she get a
Okay,
bonus
she got
for doing?
Okay, I'm not lying to you. She got a 004, which is again
But
3
she
degrees
had-
of success.
But she gets disad on this dodge. Okay.
No, in the same action phase, but because
okay.
it's only you, it's just you and you again. It's just you a bunch of times.
Okay.
It doesn't apply here because
Okay.
Does she get a bonus for doing pray and spray against the zombie?
No, but I will say that you what you probably wanted to have done, and I'll give this to you so you can take the 11.
Is I
instead.
need to aim at this point.
Aim
Because how many
right.
more do I have, by the way? How many more actions?
That would be this would be the last one, and then
Okay.
start the round.
So yeah, I'm gonna take an aim before I shoot this.
Yeah. Okay.
That's 11.
Yeah, okay. All right. So this time it fails. So yeah, she totally gets hit this time. You're going to do H damage, 1d6 plus 3.
That's what I thought, because you did say it was a heavy weapon. That's 7 damage.
Okay. 7 damage to the lady.
But yes, basically I decided I'm gonna send a machine gun and a machete.
Yeah.
7 damage does a pretty good job. She's fleshy bits. She's just chubby fleshy bits. So fleshy
Awesome.
bits.
Shinobu will kill her in one shot.
Yeah, this does go to Shinobu because the way that it worked out, that was this was the start of the next action phase. So wait, you had an energy drink.
Yeah.
So Peyton is now, what was it, 5, right?
What? One is on
Energy drinks
adrenaline,
give
one
5,
is taking
yes.
energy, and then amphetamines. So we're all pumped up.
Yep. So
different
yeah,
ways.
right. Yes, right. Okay. So Peyton is at 12, but then Shinobu's at 14. So yeah. So that just it's the same order then.
Same order.
Yeah.
Okay, Shinobu then. Shinobu with your 14, you get to go next. She just got
Okay.
shot. This does give her disadvantage on her attempt.
Cool. I want to move up to her and try and cut her down.
Okay, she's gonna try to dodge. 91 does not dodge that.
Ot 7.
Oh!
Oh yeah.
All right, go ahead and roll your 1d10 plus 11.
Okay.
I'm gonna pretty much assume
It's a 1.
Oh!
12, huh?
Yep,
All right, so-
12.
Only 12.
Only 12. It's a pretty heavy slash into her. She is really bad off. There's zombie goo kind of gooing all over the place. And it's just a big mess. She is going to try to swipe at you. Oh wait, you're at short range?
Yes.
Okay, well then she has to lumber towards. So she's gonna try to scoot backwards, screaming out, hoping that other zombies will come to her defense. You see no movement around her. Peyton, it is your turn.
Peyton, kill her. Finish her off.
Oh yeah. Ready with the crossbow.
Yep, take aim.
Takes a shot.
Hold on, let me double check. You might actually get a bonus thing because she's now moved away and stuff. She's trying to move back. No, you're just at mid range, so yeah, no negatives, no positives. So if you take aim, you will give yourself advantage. You can shoot at
Okay,
her.
right. Advantage. Great. That's good.
And by the way, just so you know, because I realized I should aim, you can also aim as one complex action, and then your other complex action is shooting. Since you're not moving anywhere, you're just staying in the cab, and that'll give you advantage or remove disad.
Right, that's what we were just saying.
0-1.
Kill her. Kill her.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I got
Man.
a 5 and a 0 with the. So with the advantage, it goes to 0-1.
This is a good way to end this particular thing. She's the last thing you guys have to deal with. and you
Shoot her
just
in the
rolled
eye? Did you shoot her in the eye?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. A 4. All right. So you do. I mean, you're already going to do 2d4 or 1d4, right? And she only had 1 hit point left, so you're going to do more than enough to kill her. But you're also, the other thing that happens, the critical effect that happens is your attack goes in and crushes bone along the way. She would have had disadvantage on all of her defensive actions and parry actions for a number for this. Oh, and Wait, suffer. Oh, I got to put in a timeline. I didn't put a timeline in there. But anyway, it crushes a bunch of bones. It just like goes, and she just comes out the other side a little bit, and she just falls over, bleeding her zombie goo all over the place in front of Shinobu. Killing shot going to Peyton.
Got a zombie and you got her.
You guys you still hear that there are zombies on the ship somewhere because Robin's suppression system pushed some down, but didn't necessarily push all of them off them. So there are zombies around. But right
they're
now,
easy to clean up now.
all of the threats are gone. Yeah.
Awesome.
Shinobu, damn, you had more than I can count.
Where's
That
the
was,
next one? Where's the next one?
I think we'll find for a few
I
seconds.
just start hacking away at her. She's moving.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Amongst the debris of all of the dead bodies, you find 4 food units, a cursed holy book, like a holy book for some weird cursed religion, and mechanics.
Ooh, mechanics tools.
Yeah.
I'll make use of those.
Yeah, let's see.
Awesome.
Cursed book. This is definitely not a medical journal, but we'll make use of it somehow.
Yeah. The way that the holy book works is it gives you advantage on resolve rolls when you're holding it, but it inadvertently gives you disadvantage on Xenotech use skill rolls. This is the opposite. This when you're holding it, it actually gives you disadvantage on resolve rolls, but weirdly gives you advantage on Xenotech use skill rolls.
Interesting. That's really cool. Okay. So at that point, we salvage and we fade to black, I hear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, you guys salvage what you can and you get the heck out of there as fast as or you set a base. I don't know what you guys want to do in the end, but yes, it sort of fades away with you guys going like with Shinobu being like, I got the rest of it, kind of thing to take out whatever's left. Camera pans off to the sky as you just hear Peyton going like, so about those calories on this energy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Scott. That was a ton of fun.
Yes, thank you so much.
Good.
That was so much fun. We have a tradition here at BWK that before we close out, we do a quick feedback section and reaction. So why don't we start with Andreas? What about you? What do you think of your experience?
This was a great game. I was like vaguely familiar when I looked at the quick start rules and like realized 5 minutes before this that there was a full character sheet and not just a general description.
Right.
So despite not having very good hold of these things, it was a great session and it was easy to jump in even without too much preparation. So I liked it.
Good.
There was exploration and things happened and stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Brandon, what about you?
I am going to go downstairs and eat all of the food we're leaving behind. All of it. I am going to be stuffed full of Brussels sprouts, canned, delicious Brussels sprouts. No, I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. It's kind of cool. I did not play the previous time I've been in this game. I did not play the combat character by any means. And so it was a very different experience to all of a sudden be not the one that's like, yeah, let's run away now. So it was it was a really fun time. I think I've played twice in Maximum Apocalypse before, and by all means, games should generally feel different, and it's been a while since that happened, but it does feel different. The different characters you play, you naturally want to approach things in a different way. And yeah, I could have run away, but we weren't doing badly at that point. So that's the reason I decided to stay, even though that might not be the best thing a lot of the time. Combat was fun.
So as for me, well, we know that I have a history of having played bombers of a few different builds in the past, and I have broken a couple of your mods, as Scott goes, I did not play a bomber today, but once again, I feel that the system allows you to be creative if you can think creatively, think outside the box, and think about the resources and tools you have at hand. So for me, I was thinking, well, if it's the venting tube, there's going to be a fire issue, I'm going to go and see about dealing with that, and that allowed us to take out a chunk of the fight. Also, once again, the drone, I used it to deliver weapon, and I then, was using it for shooting. So even though I was not physically on that boat anymore, I was still still assisting in the fight. I was still in the action, which I was very happy with. So once again, one of the things I love about Maximum Apocalypse in the handful of times I played it is if you're resourceful, you're never useless as long as you as a player are resourceful and keep note of what it is. And that should be basically how you feel in an apocalyptic situation. You have to be resourceful. So I very much love it. This is why I GM'd it, I played it. I'm really excited, and thank you so much for coming back and running it again. I hope that the Kickstarter gets another stretch goal or 2 done in the last few hours.
Yeah, me too.
And anything you want to say before we close out, Scott?
No, thanks for coming out and playing the game. Thanks for trying it. For you, Andreas, who's never tried it before. I knew they tried it. I knew that they had positive things to think about it. So I appreciate that you also thought that, and you also felt like, even though you came in completely blind, you were like, okay, I'm getting this. This is fine. It wasn't that hard. Yeah, that's good. That always makes me feel good, because the last thing I want is to have players come to a table, and even if they look at the character sheet, go, "Whoa, that's a lot of stuff," that they still walk away going like, "Oh, that game is actually not complicated. I could totally play that game again." Yeah. So great. That's good to hear. And just for note, you guys had 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 on your enemy attraction gauge. So you were definitely pushing it. I threw in a special effect. I made the lid fall on you instead of just like enemies attack you. That was a suggestion someone made, that maybe instead of it always being enemies attack, maybe it's something else. So now there's a table. So what I actually rolled was some animal stole your food, and I was like, there wouldn't be a random rat or something on the boat to steal the food out of their bag.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks. So thank you for coming and having a great time, and I'm glad we got to try some.
Thank you all.
Cool. Yeah.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hey Blades! Thank you so much for watching another Babies with Knives video. If you liked what you saw, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Go follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and come join the conversation in our Discord server.
If you want to keep content like this coming, come check out our Patreon and consider subscribing. All links for this is provided in the description below. And remember, come back next time to get honed!